Who told you you could do that? Like, just because you heard some music and you thought you could put it together? Like, this is how serious I take DJing. Like, you know, there's a natural order of things. Like,
what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Two Stunads Podcast. I'm Paolo.
What's going on, guys? I'm Drew.
And we are the Two Stunads. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Appreciate you guys clicking on our link and checking us out. Every week we come out with new episodes, talking with business leaders, entrepreneurs, business owners, leaders in the space. And we kind of learn about how they got started, the ups, the downs, the interesting stories that they've got along the way. We might learn some things along the way as well. So if you guys like what you hear, if you guys like what you're listening to, do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and share the show. We appreciate that very, very much.
Yeah, guys, we don't charge a fee. The only fee is that you share the show. So just take a second, hit that like, smash that subscribe button. And again, we put this out every Friday for you guys. Today we have a banger, literally. We have a guy that's been in this profession for a while, specifically in the music profession. He also has a lot of things about him that you probably don't know.
Yeah,
a lot of cool things
very
as well
interesting stuff
that we've kind of unpacked. But yeah, I'm excited for the show.
I am too. This guy's someone who's lived multiple lives, right? He's a true Chicago original. And back in the early 90s, before going viral was even a thing, right? This guy was already commanding the rooms. He wasn't commanding with the microphone, not commanding with the camera, but commanding with his hands, right? Doing some work. He came up from the suburbs, immigrant family, not a lot of money, but he taught himself on two basic turntables, spinning those things out in his bedroom, practicing, getting those reps in. He was a hip hop DJ in a city of house, is what I've learned a lot about him. And he was stubborn enough to kind of push this sound when others wouldn't really, take the time to listen. But he was even spinning at the DMC conference, the U.S. finals there, where precision, timing, and presence was everything. There was no safety nets. There was no second takes. He was just going at it with his turntables. And that same safety net, that same discipline, that same performance, that mindset that carried him into a completely different world, behind a chair, on a stage, and into the education industry. He's a stylist, an educator, an artist, and a mentor. And online, the persona. In the industry, the impact. And today, we're going to be getting the full story. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, welcome to the show, Pumpin Pete Leuzzi. How you doing, Pete?
oh, man. Thanks for that.
For sure, dude. For sure.
That's a long interview. A long intro, man.
Else. Thank you guys so much for
of course
for having me.
Yeah,
man.
I'm pumped to jump into this episode.
Pun.
Yeah. No pun intended. Thank you for that. Yes, yeah, I really am. I mean, your sound is awesome. There's a lot of things about you that I want to break down and we just met recently.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I did some digging on you. We always try to understand our guests and just try to make the best out of the episodes and bring to light what they really did. And I really like how your perseverance, your ambition, just pushing through when things were kind of uncomfortable. Right, with the hip hop sound and a house kind of industry and city. So I guess we'll kind of start from the beginning. I want to know who Pete Leuzzi was before Pumpin Pete. You're all right. Like, talk to us about where you grew up and yeah, let's just start there.
Yeah, it sounds good. So I grew up in Addison. My immigrant family came from Italy, from Bari, and lived on Taylor Street.
Okay.
Early days, and then we lived on Avers in Chicago for a bit, but then we were very small, moved to Addison, and this is not typical for Italian families, but my parents divorced when I was 5, so
right.
I spent most of my youth living with my mother and my brother, and we kind of bounced around apartment to apartment. And,
okay.
Grew up in Addison, and I went to I think I went to 3 or 4 different grade schools, 2 different high schools, kind of just bounced around, and we were always it was either going to be the bread or the prosciutto, not both.
Yeah.
Which one do you want today?
Right. Which one? I hear you.
We were scrapping for whatever we could, but I mean, and even in saying that, I still had an interesting, good childhood and didn't know any different. So it was, for me, it was just like one of these things where, looking back, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
but then looking back, it was so freaking sad at the same time. You know
Sure.
what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I mean, early on, I stayed with my mom, and then eventually, situation changed, and then my mom presented this opportunity for me to live with my dad, stepmother, and their 2 kids. So they lived in West Chicago. So I wound up summer of 8th grade moving in with my dad and going to a completely different high school for 2 years.
Wow.
And then eventually that fell apart and moved back to Addison, you know, went to a different high school for the last 2 years, and then wound up, you know, in the middle of all that was DJing, which kind of saved me. You know, DJing was like my escapism, and it was my outlet. And I remember early on there was a spot in Addison in Stardust Bowling Alley, a place called Dilligaff's. And at the time, this place, I think it used to be called the Galaxy Disco in Stardust Bowling Alley. And then eventually they changed it to, in the early 80s, they changed it to Dilligaff's. And this was a teen club on Sunday nights. So 6 days a week, it's grown-ups only. It's like a Studio 54 type place. And then on Sunday nights, starting at 6 p.m. till 11, it was teen nights. So you had to be 13 to 19. But the funny thing is we would show up there and there'd be like dudes in there that were like 21, 22, disco shirts on and stuff like that. And we'd be these young kids in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, they did used to have to, it was funny, they had to take all the alcohol off the bar,
Yeah.
like hide it on
Yeah,
these nights.
sure.
Okay, so I remember the first time I went there, I heard it was like a teen night, it was like a dance party, whatever. So it's my first introduction to house music live. Okay, I had heard some on the radio and was like, what is that? You know, how are they playing that? And then show up to this place and see this like captivating scene of like people my same age who are, you know, just kind of vibing out to music. And then you meet this guy named Butchie. And Butchie and I became fast friends, and he and I eventually formed a rap group and put out a rap record in '89.
No way.
Yeah. Which I was actually gonna bring the record. It's so funny. If you look on it's on my Insta, but if you do a search for it, you'll find it'll pop up everywhere. So it's kind of funny. But the reason I'm saying that is because Butchie and I, one night we left Dilligaff's and we were in the car and he was giving me a ride home and he had a cassette in the player, and it was like music I've never heard before, and it was performed in a way I've never heard before. Come to find later, the cassette was actually Jazzy Jeff recorded live on WBLS in New York that he had got from his cousin. And it's the first time I was exposed to like real hip hop mixed together, scratching tricks and everything. And it was mind blowing. It was like, I didn't even know what I was like amazed. And I was like, Butchie, what is this? He's like, oh, I'll duplicate the cassette for you. No problem. So I remember immediately gravitating towards that kind of turntablism and that kind of music performing and things like that. And of course, we were freaking broke. So I had no money for DJ equipment, but I knew it was something that I wanted to do. So when people say, you know, hip hop, house and things like that, they coexisted in the underground. They didn't coexist in real life. If you were either house or you were hip hop, you could not be both.
Black and white genres right there.
Correct. So, and back in the day, people would judge you on what you were listening to. I mean, are you listening to Italo disco, house? Or, you know, even like Italo disco had its own people, right? Like, Babe, We're Gonna Love Tonight, you know, Feel the Drive, these kind of like classic hits. And then there were the house people, the Mr. Fingers, the on and on, the early day house music. And then there was like the hip hop people who were like kind of a little bit more outcast, but you really didn't hear it on a regular basis. So anyway, I was drawn to it. And then I remember always trying to find a way I could get money to fund my, you know, DJ jump off. And then funny thing happened. I got in a car. One of the girls that lived in the apartments near us, it was a Saturday. We're friends. I think we're like 14 years old. She's 15. She's like, hey, I got to go to the laundromat today. You want to come with? I'm like, sure, I got nothing going on. Jump in the car with her. We go to the laundromat. We get like a mile. We're on Army Trail Road, right where the radio station is. You know where the antenna is? And I think it's still Bloomingdale. And we literally get hit head on by a drunk driver.
No way, man.
Yeah. So my head goes halfway through the window. And then I remember waking up in the ambulance, and I had a pair of suede Pumas on, and the first thing I said was, please tell me I didn't get blood on my Pumas. I mean, back then, I had my breakdancing gear on.
Yeah.
It was like, you know what I mean? It's like someone throwing mud on your kappa. You're like, you can't.
No, don't touch the cup.
Don't touch the kappa. What are you doing? So
yeah.
after that, I remember I was in the hospital and my mom was like hovering over me and helping the doctors pick glass out of my head. And then at the time we were no pun, but we were really stunad on how everything worked. Like we were broke, right?
Sure.
So I remember it was not even a month later, the insurance company sends a check to our house, to our apartment, made out to me for $1,000. $1,000 in '82 might as well have been $1 million.
Wow.
So I look at the check, I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so you think we had the hindsight to hire an attorney and sue and get $100,000?
Sure.
No, we didn't, because we did, you know what I mean? $1,000.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, it was like a zillion
Back then,
dollars.
what was the hourly wage? $4 or $5 an hour?
God, I mean,
What year was this? What's
82?
that's
Was
82,
it 82 was?
83. And then after that, you figure, I mean, look at, when I worked for Trocochi when I was really young, it was, I think I was making $3.35 an hour scrubbing scuff marks off the floor. And that was probably in 1990, 89.
Holy shit.
So this is even, I mean, anyway, so I wound up talking my mom into keeping the check and buying my turntables. I said, Mom,
nice.
Let me buy these turntables because I can triple this money. Okay, the $1,000 I could turn into $3,000. I'll go get gigs. I'll DJ and I'm going to blow up. I'm going to be the next big thing. It's just a young kid talking to his mom, and I convinced her of doing that. And then I spent months burning holes in my carpet, standing behind those turntables, teaching myself how to scratch, how to repeat, how to do tricks. Anything I heard on that Jazzy Jeff cassette motivated me. And I grew up on everything from Santana to like Gloria Gaynor to like Led Zeppelin to, you name it. I grew up on Earth, Wind, and Fire, influenced much of my musicality today in DJing was early on. So from there, I always had my eye on Dilligaff's. I wanted to go back to Dilligaff's and DJ there. There was already a house DJ there who was DJing every Sunday night at the teen night, and I knew I was going to be hard to get in there. So they opened at 6. I would show up at 5 with my half crate of records. The manager of this place, her name was Dottie. She's still around today. We're Facebook friends. This is an insane story.
Shout out to Dottie.
Shout out Dottie. Who threw me out, who said no to me a zillion times.
Yeah.
Like she would just stare you. She was like the Steve Rubell,
Sure.
Anyway. So I wind up showing up at 5 o'clock. I knew the place opened at 6. Someone was usually there around 5:15 to open the doors. They would open the doors, not let anybody in the public, and they would just get ready for the night. And I remember saying, I went up there 3-4 weeks in a row with my Dottie, just let me play from 5:15 until 6 o'clock until the DJ arrives. No, I don't even know who you are. I'm not paying you. No, I don't want to get paid. Just let me. So finally, after perseverance, she finally let me up, and I would be in there from 5:15 to 6 o'clock, nobody in there, just practicing in Dilligaff's. And then eventually, DJ would show up at 6, shoot me a look. I had to walk out of there with I'm like, I'm just practicing. Walk out, put my crates in the car, and then go back in and enjoy the night, right?
Yeah.
And listen to the DJ. So eventually, after doing that a lot, the DJ didn't show up one night. I got to slot in. Mickey Mixon Oliver actually gave me my jump because he is a legendary Hot Mix 5 DJ. And he took me under his wing. And he DJ'd at Dilligaff several times, and he's like, you got to let Pete be in here. So then eventually I had a residency there.
Oh, nice.
And then I blew up from there. And then I think I won my first DJ battle when I was 16, and then I didn't lose another one until, I retired. So I was very blessed. I was doing something different. I found a niche. I incorporated the elements of hip-hop culture and scratching and turntablism into performing house music in every set. And then I got to spin all over the city. From the south side at Union Hall to the north side at Rainbow Roller Rink, and I've done the Riv. I'm very blessed. I've been able to do a lot. And then it parlayed it in my later career into the house music festivals and the clubs and the bars and all that kind of thing. So
And
still to this
from
day.
an accident to, taking the money and using it positive.
Right.
A lot of people would burn it on whatever and not actually use it. But you actually were, humble enough to take it, do something productive with it,
Yeah.
Yeah, you believed in yourself. You like Drew mentioned, you kind of took an accident, like a real bad place for where you were down, but you said, I could turn this around. I'm going to turn this around, and you believed in yourself and you fought through. And I just like how you went to the owner at Dilligaff's and said, I'm gonna spin over here tonight. And she said no, and you said, all right. But then you went back. life.
I'll be back next week. I'll ask again.
Yeah, persistence, man.
Like that's
And whatever you want to do, whether
Right.
it's this or, whether it's you want to take a girl on a date or, you want to get that job, whatever it is.
Right.
You got to be, I feel like people just give up too easy.
if you get a
easy now.
no, don't give up. Right.
You know?
That part. That part.
Say that again.
People just give up too easy. If they're not good at it the first time or whatever, they get a no. It's like they just shut down.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, you got to know. Like, maybe you're not good enough or, maybe, whatever the situation is.
Right.
But, like, people just give up. So even kids, man. I mean, even our kids, I tell them all the time, like, dude, you give up too quick.
Yeah.
Like, you got to have a little bit of, like,
Where's
the
the grit?
hustle. Yeah.
Get the grit.
You know? Everything is so instantaneous now with the apps and the phone and, the likes and the, this and that. Like, it's just,
Truly.
people don't realize, like, even for the show, there's a lot of stuff down the back end that, like, of course, we would love to be over, 1 million subscribers, but, like, it takes time,
Everything
and we
takes time.
enjoy the process. I think that's the hardest part is for people to, like, actually, like, I enjoyed, like, looking back on my career, I enjoyed the beginning, the start off, more than I enjoy it now, personally.
Did you enjoy it while you were in it?
Yes and no.
Were you
At the
stressed
time, well-
AF?
Yes, but at the time I didn't realize it.
Right.
But, obviously hindsight, you look back and you're like, dude, like, why was I stressing? Like, you put in the work, you did it. Just stay focused. And I think it's just nature to feel that anxiety in a new situation where you have to, whether build a career or put yourself out there or try something new. But I look back now and I've only been in business for 7 years, but I'm like the first 2 years, like I was like, I remember vividly, like, those things, like you were saying, like, I remember vividly, like, walking in and, like, employee not showing up or, when we made, a financial goal that we hit, like, and how
Is this the
happy we
real
were.
estate part or is this the
This
chiropractic?
is the chiropractic,
Okay.
yeah. And especially when you start from nothing.
Yeah.
And you take a lot of pride in that, especially if you did it yourself without help, like I did and like you did. And so you look back and you're like, dude, if I could do that, like, this other stuff now, it's like, it's not even stressful. I mean, obviously there's stress in life and business, but, like, you're like, if I had to go back to that, start from nothing, I could.
You could do it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't want to, but, I look back now, it's like, we tell people on the show, like you were saying, like, you played and you've been blessed to be able to go to different venues and play in front of thousands of people. But, like, I would bet that you enjoy, like, the hustle to get there
Correct. No question.
over that, like, personally, like, selfishly. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy helping people and doing these things, and you probably get a high off of seeing people on the crowds with your sets.
Yeah.
But, like, selfishly, you sit there, it's like, it's not about the cars or the money or the house or whatever you can buy. It's that hustle at the end of the day, because you can't take any of this material stuff with you.
Correct.
It's the people that helped you, right? Like Dottie, like, you have a found appreciation for, right? And without her, and that's a long time ago, I mean, no car, no house is going to replace that.
No doubt.
So-
I wear my calluses like a badge of honor too. Just
Yeah.
like you do. So it's like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
And I'm proud of it,
Absolutely.
Like, and that's why it's weird for me, because, like, I see people now, like, we're talking about giving up, and I'm like, dude, like, I just, not that I don't have empathy, but I'm like, you're just being lazy.
you tried that for a day.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, get back on the horse.
right?
Don't let failure stop you. That's how you learn. I want to know, like, that grit, that persistence, that perseverance that you have. Do you feel like, your childhood, if it wasn't as, where you weren't bouncing around from school to school and where you were living, do you feel like you would have had different perseverance or persistence? Like, because you had to restart, you had to learn, get new friends and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure that wasn't easy.
Looking back, it's not the ideal childhood, And I
Right.
think, there was many times where I, didn't know where I was going to sleep. But, I couch surfed almost all the way through beauty school. It was like, it's one of these things where just, I didn't know any different. After the year was up in an apartment that we were in when we were kids, we would move. And we would move every single year. One time we stayed 2 years. The reason we would move is because the apartments across the street gave a move-in special for the first month. And you can prorate that move-in special across 12 months. So we would do it. We would pick everything up, pack up to get that $35 a month discount on the rent. That's how piss poor we were.
Yeah.
So, like, true to your point, like it's hard to have a tremendous amount of patience for people who you converse with who say, "Oh, I tried that for a month, it didn't work out." You know, so like when I hire people at the salon and I interview them, I try to get them to quit first. I really do. I interview them with intent to not take the job because I want the top 2%. My wife and I just had this conversation the other day. She's like, you know, I got 3 technical assistants in my salon. And I know we're going to talk about that later.
Yes.
And we will. And remind me because there's a story about that. But it's like, you know, a technical assistant is ideally someone who is in beauty school, finished with beauty school, or wants to get a chair in your salon. So to have 3 in a salon nowadays, that's a commission-based hair salon, is unheard of. It's unheard of. Usually you hire people who just kind of are shampooing in their room. The reason I'm saying that is because like to have the grit and determination to make it through an assistant training program and get a chair in a salon is unbelievably hard. So like when people say, you know, oh, I tried podcasting for, you know, I did it for a day or two. I got the YouTube set up. I only got 2 likes. So like, you know, how you gonna? You can't. So I mean, I think to answer your question directly, when my wife asks me about my childhood, and it comes out of my mouth, I almost can't fucking believe it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I almost.
It's like a movie you watched one time. It's like, I can't believe that guy made it.
Correct.
And that guy's you.
And I'm not breaking my arm, patting myself on the back. Sure. I'm truly not. I'm blessed. Like God in my life, Jesus in my life will help me get anywhere I need to go. Right? So I take everything as a blessing, and I didn't know any different, but true to your point, maybe it would have been different.
Sure.
You know? Growing up, when I got the turntables, the only thing I had was my turntables. And it was me and my turntables, and I would bring them everywhere. I'd walk into Southside and Union Hall, and everybody looking at me like, "Who's this white kid?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm Italian." But they'd be like, "Who's this white kid in here with a crate of records? Like he's going to do anything in here." And
right.
then I would leave with, 1,000 new friends. You know, that's what me dedicating myself to turntablism and the art of DJing. It just connects people, like on musically on a different level.
Right.
You know, it just connects people. So I would leave with 1,000 new friends from the South Side. Then I would go to the North Side and do the same thing. And then I would be like, oh, and during the day, you'd be looked at and ridiculed because you had shitty clothes on, and my shoes were my brother's. I had a pair of Toughskins jeans that I was handed down from my brother that didn't fit. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't care how I looked.
Right.
My hair was dope and my music was better. So
you got some dope hair.
I just baited you. I know. I'm sorry.
I love that. Yeah, you definitely did. Definitely did.
So
yeah, I do.
I feel like I see that now too. Like even my story, like, we didn't grow up like dirt poor, but I was forced, into, there was no other option. Yeah. Like that, my back was against the wall to just figure it out and get it done. I didn't have like a safety net to fall on for my parents to cover me with whatever money or this and that.
Yeah.
And I feel like nowadays, like even, with our kids, we're like, I tell my wife and we talk about it too off camera, like, am I making it too easy for them? Mm. Like am I, obviously I want them to have a better life than I did and give them everything, but am I making it too easy? Like, is it, because I'm telling you, if it was the opposite way and my life was easy, I can guarantee I wouldn't have the drive or grit that I do now.
Right.
Totally.
So where's the balance? And a lot of kids now, it's like either you're on 2 sides of the spectrum. One, your parents are well off and they instill that drive and passion in you and you take it on. Or 2, you come from nothing and you're forced to build that drive and grit and compassion. But the people in the middle, it's like there's nothing. Like they're satisfied. Like they'll never be forced or they'll never be taught because no one's teaching them.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it now. At least in the people that we talk to, the people, the guys that we network with, because there's always 2 sides of the spectrum. There's never a guy in the middle. It was just like an average guy. It was always a guy that came from nothing or a guy who had everything, appreciated it, learned from it, and took over out of pride for his parents to do to make it better. Yeah. But the guy, there's nothing in the middle.
So true.
Yeah, it is. So what high school did you end up going? Like which high schools were like your main high school? Because I'm curious how that transition from high school to, did you go to college?
I went to hair school.
Hair school.
Yeah, when you get
Yes.
in high school, then you go to hair school. Or there's people who they go to beauty school or cosmetology school, or now I think they call it Cosmo or whatever. But
Okay.
While you're in high school, I
Okay.
think you still could do that, and that's also an option. But I went to West Chicago Community High School, and then I went to Glenbard East High School.
Glenbard East.
And then I went to Tricoci and Tristino School of Beauty. At the time, it was called T&T.
Okay.
So that school was Franco Tricoci, which is Mario Tricoci's brother, arguably the better hairstylist than Mario. No doubt, this guy could cut hair like no one's business. But
Yeah.
Mario, way better at business.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario crushed it.
That's where it's at.
And then he added his wife, and then it was just like the dream team. And then the other part of the partnership there was Joe Tristino. Joe Tristino, amazing hairstylist, had a salon in Glen Ellen for a zillion years. This guy was an artist. He could cut hair like no one's business. He was like a Miyagi. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like very, very intense, very dedicated to the craft, and produced many a great hairstylist out of his salon in Glen Ellen. So at the time, it was Mario Tricoci, Franco Tricoci, Joe Tristino, and my dad were all friends, all same Italian-American community. My dad had a salon in Wheaton when I was growing up, and he was super successful early on, and then not so much later. But I mean, I think there was like the connection between all of them. So when it was, when I either got fired or quit every single job that I had, and then was not a $21 million a year DJ yet, my dad was like, I'll never forget. I think I was working at a place in Elk Grove Village called Carp's, putting in pie filling, and I was on the fondant line, right? So I was the guy who took a box, you stuck it underneath the fondant, never stopped coming out of the fucking machine.
Okay.
So if you had to piss, you could.
No.
And so I'm doing this, and I'm like, I can't do this for the rest. Like I would get in the car and have like, greasy, like, sticky fondant everywhere, all over. And then just like I remember my friend from high school, who oddly enough later on became my business partner. I'll tell you that story later. He needed a job, so I wound up getting him a job at Carp's. The day he started, I was 2 minutes late for the third time. And I remember having a conversation with my manager before that. I'm like, look, I come from a long way. It's Elk Grove. At the time, I was living with my dad in West Chicago. I'm like, this is a long drive. He goes, you see Tyrell right there? I'm like, yeah. And immediately I roll my eyes. I'm like, oh no, I know what he was going to say. Tyrell would come from Wisconsin every day. No. It was always a half hour. You're going to compete with that? You're not. There's no chance.
No.
So
Was Tyrell on time, or was he kind of late?
Oh. Early. Okay. So I'm like, I look over at Tyrell. I'm like, dude, you're killing me. Right?
Yeah.
So the same day that my best friend started, I got fired for being 3 minutes late, and I'll never forget it. We were in the room with the lockers. I took my work boots off and threw them at my friend. Go here, you're probably going to need these. I don't know why I was mad at him. I was just mad I got fired.
Sure.
So I got fired the same day that he started. Go home. My dad's like, get in the car. I'm taking you to see Franco. I'm like, Dad, I'm not going to beauty school. Well, look, I can identify with what my dad did early on. On Saturdays, he would bring me to the salon, and I would watch him cut hair.
Yeah.
And in the mornings, I would have this miserable look on my face, and there was a lot of clients that would come in with that same miserable look, but then they would leave with this smile on their face. And I knew there was some power behind it at a young age. It was like, I don't know how, but my dad was like performing some kind of magic.
Yeah,
That's how I feel after a haircut.
Transforming, yeah.
Right?
I feel like
Absolutely.
$1 million, dude. I get my haircut every week.
Walk a little different. when
Every
it's
week,
cut.
every Wednesday, I get my hair cut.
You got some fresh butter. I've seen
He does.
multiple.
He does some good fresh.
Yeah.
His butter is whipped on a regular.
Yeah, it's police.
I enjoy
for
it.
sure.
Man. I get a fresh shave. You know, I get it cleaned up every. I'm a firm believer, man. Look good, feel good, play good. You know,
Always.
dude.
Yeah.
When I go out, I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. Like
Playing
you know,
good. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I love
You know,
it.
I got the energy.
Yeah.
You know,
It's awesome.
Saturday mornings was a big time for all the ladies, big salon day, right? Because that's when
Huge.
you get nice and cleaned up, dialed up for the evening, for the weekend, whatever you got Saturday night.
It's still a busy day.
I'm sure it is. I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
So it was funny. We walk in this. It's funny because we walk into the beauty school, and then my dad, we sit down and we're waiting. We got a meeting with Franco, and then I'm sitting there and I'm looking around, and there's like girls everywhere, and I'm like, well, maybe this
dangerous.
is not.
Is it that bad?
This is better than fondant
Yeah, for sure.
and pie filling, you
Yeah.
know. So I remember I started, and then at the time, actually, my best friend was living with my family in Florida at the time, and then he moved back and was doing nothing. So I snagged him, and then we went to beauty school together. Went to high school 2 years together, and then went to beauty school together. And it was so much fun. And I just like realized that it's like the creative side of me it was speaking to. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was it.
So you've always been with Mario Tricossi?
So early on, it was kind of interesting. I bounced around a little bit. I worked with Joe Trissino for a little while at his salon. And then I wound up working at Stratford Square Mall in Bloomingdale, and I trained under John Geloisi, who is actually still at Tricocci in Stratford, outside of Stratford Square Mall now. But
what product line does Tricocci use?
Their own.
Their own?
Their own, yeah. I mean, now...
Did they always have that when you were there, too, in the beginning?
So they did, yeah. They had,
Really?
like, Franco... Okay, so Franco made a product.
And that's tough, man. Those product lines are tough, and I'll tell you why, and I have a little bit of a backstory.
Oh, you got some
yeah.
information? Let's
Yeah.
Inside scoop.
This guy knows.
So you probably know the factory that the stuff came out of. Okay, so Franco in the beauty school had this line called Franco. Not a lot of people know this, but Franco actually opened up inside Stratford Square Mall, and had a salon there that was called Franco Tricocci Hair Salon. And I worked there for a short amount of time too. And that one was huge. And then Mario actually bought it and took it over when Franco came out of it. But they had the same products. Franco had his name on it, and Mario had his name on his, and it came out of the same factory. And then Joe Trissino had the same ones too. It all came out of the same place. They just slapped different labels on it.
Yeah, right.
Like, people don't notice, but people are like, oh my God, Tricocci products are magical.
Right.
It's just, I mean, it's really.
Yeah.
What do you use? Do you use Tricocci now? Or do you have. What do you use
No.
What's your product line?
There's a lot. Currently in my salon, I carry Orbea, Moroccan Oil, and R&Co. So I have become a product snob, and then a product like the nonsense of knowledge I have on products is ridiculous because over the years, if there's something that's better than what I have in the salon, I'll take everything right out of my salon and put it in there.
Sure.
That's how critical it is in our space for me to put the best product possible in my team's hands, you know? And they're an integral part of the products too. So not all products are created equal. People are very knowledgeable about their products right now. And we could talk about the wild west of the internet all day long. If you're watching out there and you buy products from Amazon on your hair, stop right now. Go to your local hair salon, talk to your expert, and get a good freaking product. If it's on Amazon 9 out of 10 times, I know that the companies now, they represent on Amazon, and sometimes you can get lucky, you get it direct from the manufacturer, but we're talking lost, stolen, diverted, fake products are everywhere. It's rampant. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry annually. And so, you know, there's going to be a lot of nonsense out there.
Nice.
So
That's probably what I was using back in the day.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I put a lot of product in my hair. I got no hair. I got nothing.
Yeah, you were using the fucking Dove.
I got the Vavoom.
Dove bar.
I was using Vavoom at one point.
Bar on your,
he was using the Dove.
yeah, the Irish
And now I'm
spring.
asking Dove.
I don't stop. Hey.
A little Barez on there. I like that.
My mom, she owned a few Veda salon and day spas.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and she was real big with the owner horse. I think he passed now, but yeah, I grew up in that work, man.
Dude, that's amazing. So she knows the connection between a quality product and a quality service and a quality environment, a knowledgeable environment. Yeah.
Like now, you know, she's retired and she works just for the park district, but she still has her license, and like she'll be like, "I need whatever product," and she'll call it into whatever that beauty supply house is.
Yeah.
I'll just go and pick it up,
Yeah.
dude. But yeah, it's great. And so I remember like she started, you know, working at place, and then she started her first salon, and then she started her second with Aveda. She's always been with Aveda. Even to this day, that's all I use is Aveda. And my wife uses Moroccan oil and stuff, but I use Aveda rosemary mint, all that stuff.
Yeah,
like my mom was super like.
There's a witch hazel shampoo people still absolutely love.
Yeah. My mom was super like just tree hugger dude, like very like natural, like
That's how my wife is.
there's no chemicals. They don't test on animals, like this and that. Like, so like the business side of like a salon, like I get, because I
The
lived
Aveda
it.
concept salons were like groundbreaking. I don't know when she was.
So my mom
around.
retired from. She sold her salons as soon as I got into high school in 2006.
Okay.
She had 3 at the time, and at that point she just couldn't manage them. And somebody came in, 2 guys came in, Jewish guys, basically just with a lot of money, and they purchased them. She stayed on for a little bit, and then she had a non-compete. Her I think she was like a year she had to stay on. They paid her, and then she transitioned out. She had a non-compete for I think 3 years, and then they're no longer around anymore. Unfortunately, they kind of ran them in the ground, and then she ended up working for Great Clips Corporate on more of a manager side. Like she had multiple stores that she would manage, because as you know, being a business owner in that profession, not only was she working, but you got your nail techs, you got your massage therapists, you got every girls answering the phones, dude. You got a cash flow thing, it's
a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, and it becomes a lot. Like I remember stocking water, stocking product. Yeah. Like as a kid, like we'd go in and I would be sweeping and stocking and cleaning like all the time. If I would, and I live with my grandparents in both on and off, it's unless you grow up in that, like you don't get it. Yeah. Like it's kind of cool. Not many people know that.
Your mom unintentionally did you an amazing favor.
Yeah,
right? You got to see her grit and her determination through all of that. That's almost a dream.
And the stress, man. The stress level. Yeah. I mean, my mom worked so much, dude. Like she wasn't even around. I mean, she was around, but like, my dad was a firefighter, but she worked. I don't even know if they were off. I'm sure they were off on a Sunday or whatever, but she was working constantly, dude. Yeah, constantly.
Listen, the luxury of kids nowadays who are in careers, right? A lot of them. I know that the term "smarter not hard," work smarter not harder, is a big thing. One thing that we didn't have as a firefighter or as a hairstylist, we never ever had the luxury to work remotely. Right?
No,
right? We never can take a day off. You know what? I'm just going to work from home today.
Can't cut hair. Right.
Take a personal day, mental day.
No, there's no such thing. I try to explain this to staff who's coming up right out of beauty school, and they're like, "Oh well, I just want to, maybe I just take a day off or two here." In 500 years, hair hasn't changed. You got to get in the car. I got to get in the car. We got to go meet at a different location. I'm going to give you a haircut.
Right.
What are you going to put out a fire remotely?
No,
not yet.
Do that.
We're not there yet.
Can't do that.
So I mean, that determination. Obviously, when you see it, it's going to fall off on you when you're that close to it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't realize it like growing up. You think that's like normal, like everyone's parents. You don't see that like, and then it's not like you talk to. When I was younger, I didn't talk to people about what your parents do or whatever. Right. And then as you grow up and get into college and you get out, you're like, man, like your parents just go 9 to 5 and.
That's something new. I don't understand that. Yeah. My mom,
it's just odd.
My mom was a beautician growing up, right? She worked at a beauty salon in Elmwood Park, and she would, she was there for a number of years. And but growing up, we had a salon in our basement. The pump chair, the what do you call it? The dryer, you're washing the hair, the sink, right? The mirrors all around, and she would have ladies come Saturday morning. I remember Saturday morning. There were four or five ladies, come into the house at different times, like staggered. And so like seeing that and thinking like that was normal growing up. Like, it's like
a speakeasy.
People come over, they see, what's this room? Oh, that's where my mom does hair. That's what we do all of our hair. Like, I don't know where I would be doing my hair growing up if we didn't have that room. And then my dad, he was a mechanic. So, Saturday mornings was big for him too, because he would have guys come over. He would do work out of the garage, and he'd be have cars up on jacks, and he'd be changing oil, changing tires, doing whatever, brake jobs. So like it was like a service at my house.
This is such a severely Italian story right here.
It really is.
We all got hair.
Mechanics,
dad's working on cars.
But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to see that. Like I resonate with the whole 9 to 5. But what is that? I don't know. I don't understand. Growing up, I didn't know what that was.
I never saw it. It was always one side.
Well, I started seeing heavy. It, and I'm like, what? You go somewhere for a number of hours and you come back. Like, what do you do there? Like, what? I would sit at a desk and you do work, and that was foreign to me. Yeah, I didn't get it.
Something else.
But
I grew up in St. Charles, Geneva. Yeah. That's where I grew up. Oh, yeah. So my mom, she had her salons in Geneva. Her biggest one was in the Geneva Commons. But yeah, that's where I grew up out there. Not many Dagos out there.
Mm-hmm. Handful.
My mom's from Elmwood Park. That's where she grew up.
My wife's from Elmwood Park.
And then she moved, or my nonna and papa moved out to right off of Couts Road. Behind the DuPage Airport, and they bought like 15 acres. He was a driller. He's from Italy, and then that's where I grew up, man. But there's not many Dagos out there.
No.
No.
Well, I do. I remember Geneva Commons, and I remember there being an Aveda
Yeah,
salon. And,
Annabella Salon and Day Spa.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. My mom's middle name was Anna.
Wow.
That was Annabella. Yeah.
What was the name of the salon in Elmwood Park that your mom worked at?
La Femme Beauty Shop. Familiar with that? No.
I haven't heard of it. I'm sure my wife has. She's from Elmwood Park.
My mom grew up in the Elmwood Park area, but growing up, we lived in Norwich.
Okay.
But yeah, my parents lived Elmwood Park, right on the opposite sides of Harlem Avenue. So like one side's Chicago, the other side's Elmwood Park.
Right,
so,
right.
But yeah, that's
My wife grew up at 72nd and Armitage, like by Dickens. And between.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So my dad grew up right behind where Caputo's was.
Yes. Yeah.
So right there, and then my mom was there on the other side of Harlem Avenue.
So my uncle is Valenzano Baking Company.
Okay.
So, but he sold a few years ago. So now it's called the Il Mulino di Valenzano Baking Company. Still, but my uncle had a storefront right across from where the original Caputo's was.
Okay.
Like literally right across the street, a little storefront.
Sure, yeah. There was a small, tiny little shopping center over there. Like,
yes.
I don't even call it a shopping center. There was nowhere to park besides the street.
Exactly. Wow.
But yeah, I'm curious. So like, you were going to beauty school, right?
Yeah.
And was that like the only focus at the time? Did you pause DJing or did you continue that throughout?
DJing was always in my circle. Like DJ was my life, and then hair kind of became my safety net.
Yeah.
Became my career, but my passion was always DJing. So at the time, I still was DJing. I'd be in the city almost every weekend DJing, and then there were still competitive events that were happening. And so I competed. I competed on a local level and then a national level, and then that has literally, bought me a whole bunch of great friends globally. The reason why is because the DMC is like the Olympics of DJing. Okay, so this is like if you win your city, you win your area, it's almost like the crown jewel. At least back in the day it was. So in 1990 and 91, I'm the two-time Chicago DMC champion. So I wind up on the U.S. finals 2 years in a row, 1990 and then again in 1991. 1990 was super cool because it was in New York at the Sound Factory. So you have these local battles, Miami, New York, L.A., Chicago, Cincy, and then they would take 1 to 2 people from each city that were the winners and runner-ups, and then they would bring them to the national, the U.S. finals, they would call it. And then if you win the U.S. finals, you go to the world finals. So the U.S. finals in 1990 was at the Sound Factory in New York, and I remember the last minute they changed the location of it due to the weather. So we walk in the Sound Factory. At the time, I felt like it was a pretty small area inside there. Within 15 minutes, I look around, and in there is... First, we have Bismarcky, who is hosting. We have Public Enemy that's there. We have DJ Red Alert. We have like Diamond D. We have all of these legend, and then all of a sudden, all the DJs come in, and it's like DJ Miz, Steve D. I can go on and on. These DJs are like they're heroes.
Yeah,
they're
OGs,
like legendary.
man. Yeah.
OGs. So I get to meet them and compete against them. The funniest part of this is there's a picture of me and my friends that all my friends wanted to come with. So one of my closest friends at the time was Antonio Tony Petrelli, and he went by Tony Too Fast Petrelli back in the day. He was a DJ. Then another guy, John Clausterides, half Italian, half Greek, great guy. Addison grew up. He and I were thick as thieves when we were young. Then my other great friend who I met when I was 15, Angelo Lolino, who you guys know right now is, Vito. He came with. And man, the hair that guy had.
Oh, yeah.
I got wait.
But we want to see it.
I have pictures. So and he came with, and there's a picture of all of us kind of sitting on a bench at the DMC, and there's this picture, and I have it somewhere. I'm gonna text it to you.
Yes.
And
put it up.
We literally were. We came blowing in there with all this like hair gel and cologne and stuff like that, and it's like this gritty underground hip hop DJ battle in New York. But anyway. Okay, so at the time they videoed all of these competitions, and then they would put the regional competitions and the national competitions out on VHS, and then they would package them, and then they would distribute them everywhere in the record stores where all the DJs shopped. Okay, so you would go and you would buy the VHS, and you would punt it as soon as it hit the shelves. You would bring it home and you would watch it and study it. If you were a DJ, you wanted to see what everybody was doing. So this is like your looking glass into who you're going to compete against and what's going on.
This is before YouTube,
way before,
way before that stuff, right?
I mean, if I had YouTube back then,
a little different story.
Okay, we'd be doing this on my yacht.
Right.
Okay,
but this is the fastest you were able to kind of do your homework.
You just did quick. I mean, you see how slow this is, right?
Right.
First they got to video it, then they got to send it out, they got to edit
that
it,
takes
then they
time.
got
Months later, yeah.
right.
But that's the difference today. Go on. I'm sorry. Go on.
It's true, right?
Yeah.
Home base was England, so they had to send all the footage out there. And
Oh my God.
Right, and then they would ship it back international, right? So I'm on all these videos. And then the 1991 hits, and then I start to get a little more animated in my performances and stuff like that. And then now I'm competing against like Qbert, DJ Rectangle, these massively big DJs. And then Tabitha Soren is there. It's at the Riviera in Chicago, and she was originally one of the very first original MTV video jocks, right? So they shot a whole commercial in there, and we were all over the commercial. You could YouTube it. It's hilarious.
We'll post it. It's
It's a friggin' riot. I mean, yeah, my hair was pretty big. I think I had I had a Nike shirt on, some tie-dye jeans. It was like, I don't know, it was like an old school Adidas commercial. So the reason I'm saying all that is because these VHS go out to the world, and then as soon as Facebook is born and there's connectivity amongst all of us, I immediately start getting these friend requests from everybody from Ireland, Amsterdam, Belgium, Italy.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, oh my God, this is insane. Oh my God, I watched your VHS. I have your VHS. It just was heartwarming. So then all of a sudden, all the connections I made back then and all the new connections that I made started to kind of emboss me into the whole DJ community and then net me a whole bunch of gigs. So I'm just blessed to be relevant to this day. A lot of it has to do with those early day
Videos.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then I think it was like 07, 08, maybe. I wind up reaching out. No, I'm lying. 2011, not even 2010, 11. I wind up reaching out to a guy named Bassi Maestro. I don't know if you know who this is.
No, I never heard of him.
Okay, Bassi, he's gonna watch. He's from Milano. He's gonna watch this. I hope I'm not insulting him by saying this. He's the Eminem of Italy. This guy's a legend. He's 35, 40 plus years in the game of hip hop. He is responsible for breaking underground hip hop in Italy, and he to this day tours everywhere. Done everything like Sanremo does. He does events where he'll do all vinyl, and then he's also produced and bred a lot of talent nationally in Italy. Okay, so I reach out to him. I'm like, yo, I know you don't know who I am. My name is Pumpin Pete. I'm from Chicago. I'm a huge fan of yours. I was recently in Italy, and I grabbed one of your cassettes, and he made an album called The Shit Dropper. And I know but it's all of Italian. I mean, Italian hip hop is like, it's badass.
Yeah.
I made an Italian mix called La Verità. It's Italian underground hip hop mixtape. I got to give it to you.
Lolino was telling us
that
on the show that he's been
he's
listening
big,
to like
big on hip hop, Italian hip hop.
Yeah,
He said
I gotta get into it.
He said he met Rocco Hunt.
Yeah.
Jax. No, Jax.
There's a ton.
Yeah,
There's
there
a
are.
ton.
There are a ton.
So this guy Bassi, I said this is what he's right. This guy Bassi winds up emailing me back. He goes, I know you. I have your VHS.
Dude.
I have your DMC VHS.
Dude.
I'm like, there's no chance. I'm like, you're coming out here. You're going to DJ with me. He's like, done. Tell me when. I'm like, this is insane.
That's like a dream come true.
It's insane. I fly him out. We DJ like 5-6 events. He stays out here for like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
We are to this day are like super close friends, even though we're a zillion miles away. It's like,
Sure.
as soon as you come out here, we're gonna do a tour around Italy, and you're gonna DJ everywhere. I'm like, dude, done.
Let's do it.
So I'm gonna make it happen. But I mean, this is like what those VHS cassettes did, you know, back in the day. They keep my career alive almost, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, without those videos, dude.
You wonder,
Yeah.
you know, what would have happened.
Yeah.
I was doing some research, and I saw some of the DMC spinning that you were doing, and bro, let me tell you, like I said,
You were moving.
Yeah, you
were moving, dude.
You had your
moving.
foot up on turntables,
Yeah, twisting, dude, moving.
I'm like,
So funny.
And again, there's no safety net with like you're spinning on vinyl, right? It's all
vinyl.
live. It's all real time. There isn't, you know, that's a whole different game.
We're not pushing buttons. We don't.
Right.
We did not have sync.
Right.
Okay, I'm talking to you.
You
Digital,
don't-
DJs. Try it with vinyl. No, I don't want to sound like an old school vinyl.
But that's the truth. Like, mad respect to you, because It's a different game.
What year did that change the technology?
You know, technology has been amazing, though. I mean, if you don't embrace technology, you kind of
fall behind.
You fall a little bit behind. So early, I want to say it was like it had to be maybe I'm gonna get this wrong, man. 03, and I should know this. 03, 04, maybe. I think. Maybe it might have been a couple years later.
Did you ever transition to CDs then, or like?
No, I never liked CDs.
Right.
Never liked CDJs.
It's just dangerous.
No,
right?
Yeah, dangerous. But Serato came out, and Serato Serato gave you the ability. What they did was they took two pieces of vinyl were records, regular records, looks like a record, and they digitally encoded each one. Okay. So you would put it on the turntable, put the needle on it.
Right.
You would USB your computer to the mixer. And the software called Serato would read the digitally encoded vinyl, and it would play every single MP3 that was on your computer. This is mind blowing.
Wow!
Do you know I used to have to go to? I would save my money DJing one gig. I'd get $50 a night at one gig, and I would take that 50. Let me tell you, I couldn't even put gas in the Cutlass. Yeah. Okay, Paulo. I couldn't.
Wow. The V8. What is it?
Yeah, literally, and like a bad oil problem with it too. So I would spend all the $50 on vinyl.
Yeah.
You needed 2 copies of every piece of vinyl so you could mix and then move ahead in it and then mix out of it.
Yeah.
Okay? You couldn't just have 1 copy of something. As a professional DJ, you needed 2. So if that vinyl at Gramophone was like $12.99, right? You had to come up with 26 and change on to buy 2 of them. So do some quick math. I could buy 4 records with $50.
Yeah,
Stupid.
God forbid you scratch it or damage it, dude, or somebody busts it.
And I still have my early day vinyls, man. They're a wreck. They're a wreck. So and then fast forward, and now where you can immediately on your computer, you know, people have access to a gazillion songs.
Gazillion's the right number. Yeah.
And this will circle right back to your point on it's way too easy.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you gotta I'm not saying you gotta go out and buy records, okay? But you should have to earn Serato
for sure.
Number one. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is you should have to earn those access to those billion songs. You know, when my son said he wanted to learn how to DJ, the first thing I did was I made him learn on vinyl. When my daughter said the same thing, I mean, they don't. You know, she messed around for a half a second, but my son is musically. My kids are dialed in. Like
Love
they
that.
understand great music.
Yeah.
And they know great music, and they listen to great music, and they send me great music. And I'm so proud of them. So
I was gonna say that proud moment probably.
Yeah. So it's cool. So it's
I feel like everyone and their mother's a DJ now. Like
correct.
Everybody is like just for like you said, everyone. It's just anybody could take their computer and just be a DJ. Like there's no like. I feel like it's almost like dampered the profession down because like how do you vet? Like who's actually really good or who's actually like pulling a set from somebody else and not actually do it themselves. Like, you know, you could really tell the guys that were moving in and out based on those old videos. Like you could tell the guys like, you know, they're good or like, okay, this guy missed the, you know, the onboarding here or there. It's like now everything's just boom, boom, boom. Instant. Yeah. And don't get me wrong. I mean, but it's just, there's so many DJs now.
Yeah.
I see a new one every time I'm on Facebook.
And who told them they could do that? Like, you know, do we need to go and, you know, find the root cause of why they're a DJ? Who told you could do that? Like, just because you heard some music and you thought you could put it together? Mm-hmm. Like, this is how serious I take DJing. Like, you know, there's a natural order of things. Like, you know, I mean, if you're going to say, I hesitate to tell people I'm a DJ. And, you know, before I introduce myself as a DJ.
Is it DJing or is it just mixing? Because like I sent you a set the other day, and I'm like listening to it. I'm like, it's just the guys they're mixing it in and out. It's really what it is. Unless you got guys that are throwing like house beats on top or whatever, and some do, and a little bit of like the cut. But the majority of it's okay. They're just playing the song, and then they're mixing it in and out and getting the crowd hype. But there's no actual like. There's no actually like involvement with the people that are at the event. You're not actually like performing. Like you're behind your computer. Yeah. You're making a video. There's no like energy. Like, you know, I mean, I get now technology, you can make, you know, do a live stream on YouTube or whatever, but like there's something different of listening to a set on YouTube versus listening to it in person.
Correct. You literally hit the nail on the head. When I DJ, I perform. Anybody could blend 2 records together. Anybody, let's say MP3s, whatever. Anybody could digitally put 2 songs together.
Yeah.
You may have good taste in music, and you like this song into that song. Okay? No matter where I go to this day, no matter what I'm on, I'm going to insert my musicality and my artistry all over it. I was just in Pilsen last Friday, and I DJ'd at Simone's on 18th. This place will eat you alive if you're not a great DJ, like most places in the city. I say this all the time, not to get too far off track, because I want to tell you the story about Simone's, but something happens when you get in a car from the suburbs, and the minute you cross Harlem Avenue, okay, you behave yourself. You're almost to the city. Tell me I'm wrong. Watch.
Yeah.
You're almost to the city, you behave yourself. You get in the club, you leave the fucking DJ alone. You don't go showing them your phone. You don't say play Bad Bunny. You get in, you stay nice.
Agreed.
Nice.
Agreed.
And you listen to great music, and then you're taken on a musical journey, okay? Because there's nothing worse, number one, than being in the shower, being at work all day, listening to, let's just use Taylor Swift as an example. No offense against Taylor Swift.
I was thinking the same thing.
You're at work, you heard Taylor
shit.
Swift. You get in the car, you're hearing Taylor Swift on the way home. You get in the shower, you're getting ready to go downtown, you hear Taylor Swift. And then in the car, on the way to the city, you hear Taylor Swift again. And then you get to the club and you decide you want to tell said DJ you need to hear Taylor Swift. How many fucking times do you need to hear this? Okay, number one. Number two is you get in the car when you're done with the city and you come back and you cross over Harlem Avenue and your suburban switch goes back, and then you need to hear the same 12 songs in the suburbs because now you're in the burbs and now you are acting differently. There's something weird that happens. I don't know why. Like if we're getting in a car and we're going to go to Shelter in the city, you're going to behave. You're going to listen to great house music. You're going to go to Crowbar. You're going to listen to great house music. You're going to start to cheat and you're going to just have a good time and dance. You're going to get a drink and then that's it. I'll bust, right?
I'll bust.
And then if you come home, when you come home, you pass Harlem Avenue and all of a sudden you turn into a Stromboli again. You know, you're like, you know, this is just what I don't understand about music and DJs. And it's like, take me on a musical journey. So my story about Simone's in Pilsen is I'm DJing. I have an hour and a half long set. And I just posted a couple of videos from it. And I am remixing everything before your eyes. Nothing is pre-programmed. If it's going to be me pushing buttons or if it's going to be me scratching on a controller or on a turntable, I am layering acapellas. I am chopping up the song. I am instantly remixing it before your eyes because that's who I am as a DJ. Mm-hmm. I'm not interested in blending two songs together. Any, you know.
And you're feeling the crowd. You got the pulse on the people, man.
Yes.
You got a pulse on the people.
You give them what they're looking for.
The doctor got me all fired up.
Dude, you're 100%.
If you have
he's 100%
a
right.
set that's already pre-made and there's nobody sitting there for the drop, like, dude, like you got to feel the people.
Mm-hmm.
You got to. It's like you got to have your pulse, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But to go back to your point with like the radio thing, I can't stand listening to just like the basic radio. I don't even listen to radio anymore.
No, neither do I.
Like if anything, I'm listening to a podcast or whatever, or like I got to listen to something else because like it's the same shit. And it's honestly, the radio isn't even radio anymore. It's all just like advertising for whatever it is, like
truly
car accidents or insurance or whatever it is.
I can't stand listening to the radio.
You know?
I cannot stand it. I don't listen to the radio.
Like I went to go see Matteo Bocelli last week at the Genesis Theater. The week before I went to go see Brett Eldridge at Chicago Theater for his Glow concert, dude. Like I love like the live band. Like there's something about it, dude. Mm-hmm. You know, like I took my wife's Noni and 3 or 4 guys to see Matteo Bocelli. We had a blast, dude. She was crying.
Great.
Like it was
Come
like,
on.
they had a band there, dude. It was great. Like, but like some of those people though, like as far as artists, dude, in person, some of their concerts suck, and then some of them are like, dude, you're actually like a legit artist. Mm-hmm. I've noticed that. I don't know if you've noticed it too, but like these recording artists, like, dude, you sound way better on record than you do in person. Sure. And it's almost like a fake reality. You know, like you hear them and you're like, but then you see those guys like Brett Eldridge, he basically did a full acapella, his last song with no mic, dude. And the voice is just
it's beautiful.
Gives you chills.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And we go to, I've been to it 5 years in a row now. And Powell came last year, dude. It's like when you see that band, dude, and you just get everyone like jazzed and like.
You get goosebumps.
Yeah.
You truly get goosebumps.
You know?
And I feel like
It's awesome.
We met on Black Wednesday before Thanksgiving, right? And your sound that you were pumping out, like all those songs, like you like you said, you play off the crowd. You see what they're
You
liking.
know the crowd.
You know
You're
the
not
crowd.
playing crowd music that they don't know.
Right.
You know?
Correct.
But like and then you get a high off of that. Like you see how much fun they're having. You're like, that's it. Now they're gonna drop this one, and they're feeling it.
Yeah.
They're feeling it.
There's nothing like it. Yeah.
No, there really isn't.
There's nothing like it. There's nothing like being in person. I mean, you can get hyped by yourself. I get hyped by myself, like listening to a set.
No
but
doubt.
like, there's nothing like being with your crew, whether it's your guys or your gals, and just like,
Right.
you're out there, dude. You know,
Doing it.
a few drinks or whatever. Because I appreciate that more, dude. Like I have no problem with paying for that talent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's a beautiful art.
Totally.
You know, whether it's being a DJ or a recording artist or whatever, like, and to me, like, it's like society now is just so behind the screen that they don't want to go out. They don't want to like go to the clubs or, you know, go to a bar or whatever. Like, you know, even at, you know, Tavern on the Point when we were there, like, dude, it was anybody from 35 older. There was nobody 35 and younger there.
Do you know we love
Like,
that connection?
It's just, you
what
know,
exactly what you
like,
said.
Yeah.
where are these people?
I know.
Like, what are they doing? Smoking weed in the basement? Like, what are you guys doing, dude? I'm trying to think,
Probably
like,
it.
you know?
That's probably.
I mean, it's
probably what
odd,
they're
dude,
doing.
because like when we grew up, we were going downtown all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, like, again, now it's a different situation, the city, the safety and things like that. But like, where do people go?
Right.
Like, am I the weirdo that like goes out? Like, you know, I don't know.
There's nothing like that connection. Though. Like when you felt the energy at Tavern, like you know, and it's like it's old hat. Like when I show up there and I get to see like Pesh and Giuseppe and you know we get to hang out. And so, like we already know it's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, I always say I do still treat every DJ performance like a DJ battle. That's just comes from my competitive, you know, history of DJing. I had a residency at this place in Untitled on Kinsey and in the city, and I was there on Thursday nights for a long time, and I remember I learned a lot at Untitled because that place. I mean, first of all, the city as a whole, no matter where you're DJing in the city, and, you know, if you go near South Side or near North Side, places will eat you alive if you don't know what the hell you're doing. But there's also a lot of bougie places that are super cozy and you could basically push a button and then, you know, entertain a crowd. But Untitled, this was a whole different animal. I get a call from Joe. This guy is he's the manager of Atomic Hospitality, so he does a lot of bars in the city. He does Recess, he does Untitled, Teto, a number of places. So he calls me. He's like, Pete, I got this residency for you at Untitled. Come on down. I'm like, done, no doubt. And what nights? It's like Thursday nights, and you know, occasionally Saturdays. Like he wanted me there a lot. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I show up on a Thursday night. They have an event called Unbridled at Untitled, and it's specific to Thursday nights. Okay, so I don't know what to expect. I get all my music together. I walk into this place. There's a giant mural of Al Capone on the wall. I'm like, oh my God, I'm home. This is great. It's a cool place. If you've ever been to Untitled, you go downstairs. It's a speakeasy. The place is like Michelin starred restaurant.
Same.
The food is insane. And there's a whiskey room, a lounge that I mean, the mixologists there are amazing. The cocktails are great. The food's amazing. But I walk in and I look out and I go downstairs into the main room and I see the stage, and on the stage, hand to God, is a woman on stage naked with tassels on her chest, just trying to like spinning in a front. I'm like, what's going on in here? It's a burlesque show. Unbridled at Untitled is a burlesque show.
Oh wow!
I didn't even know this.
I thought it was like a wedding thing.
And then there's all these performers. There's like a guy and a girl roller skating on stage. There's a strong man spinning a log with two women on the end of it. Like
It was packed.
cow.
The place was packed.
Packed.
Shit.
And all okay. So now I'm like, okay, well, I have to stretch out here. I'm not an open format DJ. You know,
Sure.
For me, I don't do weddings. I don't do birthday parties. I think if you could do that, it's a gift. I don't have that gift or that patience. This is like a wedding. Okay. So I learned really fast that I need to show up at this place about an hour early, and I would show up an hour early all the time because I would handle it after. I would catch the crowd at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I would go till 2 in the morning. So I would have to keep them in the place. So I knew I'd get there an hour before, and I'd scan the room. I'd look around, and I'd pick out ages just like you did at Tavern. Like you look around, you're like, okay, this table, they graduated in 2016. This table, like they graduated in 89.
It's recon work right there, man.
So I would have crates in my Serato folders dedicated, and I would hit them in their hot spots when they were 16 years old. And it worked. I mean, it worked like a champ. The only problem I had with it is a lot of that shit I don't like playing.
Yeah.
Right? I like when you guys show up at the spot and you don't know what I'm going to play, and then I'll hit you with a couple. Like I played a couple. And I saw you going nuts, and I'm like, I got him.
But that's the best part, dude. Is not knowing. You know,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
I agree. It's that like once you hear the first couple, like I listen to a lot of music, and like when it's kind of getting mixed in, I'm like, oh, I know exactly what song this is, and I get just hooked. I'm pumped. I'm ready. Yeah, and it's like it's not a quick like one track. Like you're easing into it, and it's artistic. It's just like it's a work of art.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It really is. It really is. I want to know. Let's talk about real quick. So you were DJing, right? You were going to beauty school, DJing as well. At what point where you graduated beauty school, and then like did you decide I'm going to open up a salon? How did that transition?
Yeah, it was super interesting. I remember when I graduated beauty school, I still was working at Tricoci in Stratford, and then I left for a while and went to Barrington. There was a new salon that was opening up, and at the time I thought this was genius. And there was a independent investor who took 2 different salons in Barrington and bought them both and brought both teams together and built a brand new space and put them both in it. And it was called the Salon of Barrington, and it was in the Foundry of Barrington on Northwest Highway near Hart Road. And I remember one of my friends from beauty school called me. She's like, Pete, there's this great opportunity at this place. And at the time, I had trained under John in Stratford, and then I felt like I needed something a little bit different. So I shot out there, and then I amassed a gigantic following there. It was amazing. And then I still kind of felt like there were some things I didn't know. I mean, of all these years cutting hair, I still felt like there was more to learn.
Sure.
And we can get into like, there's something about beauty school that I'm gonna drop a huge bomb, and people who are in cosmetology school or hairdressers right now might not be ready. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But I remember getting out of there, and I was like, okay, I have this opportunity to go back to Tricoci in Schaumburg. So I wound up going back to Tricoci in Schaumburg. I had a meeting with Mario. My dad and him were friends. So I wound up doing a short stint at a number of locations. When I went back to Tricoci, I would go downtown to Ontario for a couple days, and I would wind up in Naperville for a couple days. I went to Dundee for a couple days, and then he's like, I'm going to place you in Schaumburg. So he placed me in Schaumburg, and it worked out good. All my clients followed me. I had like a book of like 500 clients, and then I walk in, and I'm only there like a day or two, and then that I lock eyes with my future wife.
Oh,
I met her there. Yeah.
She walked in as a client.
She was working there.
Okay.
Yeah, I swore I'd never do that. Yeah, but be careful. So the
Hairdressers are different, man.
hairdressers are different.
They're wild, dude.
Yeah.
I've been around a lot of them, man.
You already
They're
know.
crazy, dude.
Thursdays and Saturdays, and then up early at the salon.
Yeah. Man, back then it was all cash tips, man. These girls were hustling, dude. I remember there was, they had the tip jar. Like, it was, yeah. This different, man. These
Built
girls
different.
were hustlers, dude. I'm telling you, those hairdressers back in the day that worked for my mom, bro, dogs. My mother-in-law was a hairdresser
In
too.
heels
like,
that big.
Yeah.
Insane.
I don't know if it's as cutthroat now, but like, I don't even know what they charge now for that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah.
I mean, if it's making
It was
you
a
feel
lot
good,
back then. Dude.
You're looking good.
It was a lot back then.
Yeah.
But now it's like I pay $60 for my haircut every week or something, like 66 with the tip or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, those girls are hustlers, dude. So a hairdresser wife, dude, or somebody in that profession, like, she's got to be a grinder.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear. What's her name?
Lisa.
Lisa.
Yeah. So I met her, and then it was kind of interesting because at the time she was still a shampoo girl there.
And you were a stylist.
Yeah. So she's looking at me because at Tricoci, if you show up there and they don't know who you are, you're supposed to go through their whole assistant training program for a year and a half. Little did they know I already did all that, so I was way beyond that. So I brought, so anyway,
Were you just doing cuts, or were you doing colors too?
just cuts. I was a cutter at that time. Now I did do color and cutting in Barrington.
Yeah.
But then when I came to Tricoci, I brought all my clients with, and then I handpicked the colorist that they would go to.
Yeah. Big money in the
Nice.
color, man. Big
Yeah.
money in the color.
Yeah. So
Mixing the colors.
I was saying that's not an easy job to do because people have one idea of what's going to turn out, and then it turns out to be this, and might be that right on.
it's true.
It's a science.
It is.
Is it wrong?
What's the? I think there's a scientific name for it, dude. I'm not a mixologist, but I want to say there is. I'll have to look it up.
It literally is. Yeah, I mean it's a combination of art and science. But you know what? You have to have, in your color theory, right, you have to have a particular eye for underlying tone. I always say the best way to understand color is this. You have a contributing color that a client comes in with, right? Then you have the chemical formulation of what you're going to use, which is a different. And then that's going to create a third that the naked eye can't see yet. So we could show a picture all day long. You really can't foresee what a contributing color of a client is going to give to your formulation until you put it on their head. So this takes years and years and years. So this, and it comes at a cost too. I mean, color. Yeah. If I tell you the cost that I hemorrhage.
Oh, no, I know.
In color alone, and the
mom
the profitability analysis of it is
because these girls would fucking spill it, dude. They'd pour it or whatever. Like that shit's expensive. And when you're, when you're not the business owner, you're like, fuck it, like whatever. But when it's yours, you're like, you're penny pinching everything out of it.
Yeah,
no,
it's true.
Not to get off topic, but go ahead.
No, that's right on topic.
Yeah,
and you're exactly right. I mean, I have something to say about that. I kind of feel like I have something to say.
Did you cut your wife's hair? What was the first move? What was like?
How'd you jump in? Okay, so this is funny. We didn't even really we didn't even connect that way. Like I think she was salty at me because she was still. She says she wasn't, but I saw how she looked at me. Like, why is this guy cutting hair? Or he just got here.
Who's this guy over here?
Right. Who's this? You know. So.
Who's this Stunad?
Exactly. Who's this Briok? So I wind up dedicating myself to figuring out where I'm gonna learn the most I could learn. At the time when I was at Tricoci, arguably pound for pound, Mario literally owned the hair market in Illinois, in Northern Illinois.
What year was this?
You're talking. This is at 94 all the way to like 99.
Biggest competitor for my mom.
Okay.
Biggest.
Here's the thing. Part of it was a daytime nightclub. Okay. Just circling back to what you're saying. And then it kind of attracted like-minded people. Like there was a scrappiness you had to have to work there. There was a grit you had to get through the assistant training program. And then it was highly competitive in a positive way. But here's what Mario did to lock down the industry. And here's why he crushed a lot of people. When you showed up at Tricoci, you didn't get to keep your name if somebody else already had it. So if I showed up there and there was somebody there with the name Peter, I had to change my name. So if you walked in and your name was Lisa, you had to change it. And that's why all these girls were like Mercedes and Lexus and made all these,
I didn't know that.
Some of them had stripper names. They had stripper names.
Sure.
So, but what he did was he said, you have to choose one of two paths. You are either going to be a cutter or you're going to be a colorist. Or you're going to be a nail tech or you're going to be an esthetician. You can't be all. And at the time, if you were to choose that, one or the other, you couldn't work anywhere else. If they showed up at your mom's salon in Nevada, they'd be like, I can't hire you. You need to do color and cut.
Yeah.
And this was actual and factual. So this might have been the brainchild of Mario's wife or Mario or the two of them combined, but it was genius at the time.
Yeah.
Because everybody wanted to work there. The place looked beautiful. It exhumed beauty.
Energy, music.
The music, and then the talent that went there. Okay? Every single partner for Mario's was a guy. He didn't make women partners. His only female partner was his wife.
Right.
So at each location, there was another guy. And then they were the creative team, right? They were all the artistic directors. Mario Tricoci and team was his guys. So you're talking there's at the time there's 6, 7 guys, and they would walk in like Goodfellas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, they were intimidating.
It was a different vibe, I get it. Like for people that don't know like the difference between like March Tricoci and anyone else, like for example, my mom with Aveda, like Aveda was like when you walked in, you heard more like rain sounds and like natural, like very like calming.
It was very
Tricoci, very spa. Like that was their whole like vibe, like very, like rocks and like earth tone colors. Where March Tricoci was like that, I wouldn't say wild child, but like there was energy. You know what I'm saying? Like there was energy and like you were there, you had fun. Like you had an experience.
You did, yeah.
I mean, not that you didn't have it. You had a different experience at like an Aveda, which was more like a calming relaxation. They did more massages, facials, like things like that. They did cuts and color, but I know exactly what you're talking about between girls just doing cuts and color. Because, dude, it takes a long time to do a color versus a cut. And you could, if you're going to do colors, you better be damn good at it because you can make a lot of money. And if you're going to do cuts, you got to remember, they got to turn people.
Yeah.
Like they got to turn, just like you're turning tables. Like in a restaurant, not,
Yeah, not your table.
Yeah.
That's right. Different turntable.
I didn't know it was all guys though. That's interesting.
Yeah, it was all guys. And then you know, but early on, I thought, okay, well, because my dad and Mario were friends, I had a little bit of an in. But I spent 5 weeks on and off at Vidal Sassoon Academy in Toronto, Canada. I would go for a week, come back. I would train there, and then I gained a friendship with the director of education there, this woman named Margot, and she was there for a lot of years. And she would call me and say, Pete, look, I have an educator that's coming in from London the week of August 1st or whatever, you really should sign up. So she would give me an inside scoop, and I would say, yes, sign me up. I would sign up for the week. I would go there. Sometimes I would go with my friends. Sometimes I go, you know, whatever, with a group and spend a week there. This is like the Harvard of hair schools. Okay, so at the time, I was very, very blessed because I forced myself to be the best at, like at the time, the bobs were super popular.
Sure.
And they're coming back now, whatever, but that's another discussion. But I remember dedicating myself to like learning how to cut the perfect bob. And who are you going to learn from? Yeah, like the creator of the bob, Vidal Sassoon Academy. And I get these educators that are coming in from London, so I don't have to pay the fee to fly all the way there. I drive 8 hours in a car to go to Sassoon in Toronto, and I learn from the best. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I was at the pinnacle of where I was going to go. Mm-hmm. I made it perfectly clear that I was interested in something more. And then when I knew that wasn't going to happen, I dropped the bomb in there and I left. And I left in 98.
I heard that's pretty common.
Well, not then.
With Tricosi. They're very I don't know.
Well, they're commissioned. Look at, if you look at it from a business
I mean, I'm just talking about
perspective.
from, you know.
What you heard?
Yeah, I mean, obviously my mom was in the profession. Mm-hmm. It was like a no-no. Like if you went from like an Aveda to Tricosi, it was like, there was a no-no. It was almost like a rivalry, at least when I grew up. You know, there was a Tricosi down the street, one off of Randall Road, that was like, you know, there was always like, you know, it's almost like you'd send a scout there, and they would probably do it vice versa. Mm-hmm. But that's how it was. Like that was the business. It's like you go in a restaurant.
Yeah, you check out.
You know, you check out their menu or services. You know,
yeah.
Super.
Location was key, man. Like location, who's in the first chair, like
always.
You know.
There was always a method to
how the towels were rolled, bro. Like, I mean,
all of those,
how the product was turned perfectly. Mm-hmm. Like, it's crazy. Like, no dust on like the glass shelves. Like, it was like that attention to detail. That's how I grew up.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it's you know, not just in the salon world, but that's how it was to me. It, like, everything had to be perfect.
It meant a lot to your mom's clients that came in. I mean, when
because it's not cheap, dude.
Yeah,
whether it's them or her or whatever,
stuff all over the place. Yeah,
for sure.
Presentation is huge.
Yeah,
presentation is huge. So when did you start? You know,
you got pissed off.
Yeah,
or not pissed off. Whatever you know, decide. Okay, there's a better route for me.
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't going.
It was more that.
You know,
it was more that.
You know, no bad blood. But okay, like I see, this is where I would like to go. You guys have a different view. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I had a couple of meetings with Mario, and I think, you know, towards the end, there's this contractual thing that happens at Tricosi where you have to be, you're under contract, you're under a non-compete. And back then, and even to this day, like a non-compete in Illinois is super challenging to uphold. We get that part of it. But back then, it was like it scared all these stylists. They're like, I can't go anywhere. I don't know how to color hair. I can't go anywhere. I don't know how to cut hair. I'm only a cutter or a colorist, so I can't leave.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm going to fucking leave.
I don't know if my mom had that with Aveda, the non-competes.
Some did, some didn't.
I don't remember.
I think, you know what? I think sometimes too, a non-compete is okay, but if it's a mileage thing and you come with no clients and you build clients in that establishment, that's a whole nother discussion. Because let me tell you,
taking clients is tough.
I could break it. I'll blow the roof off of it. Like people don't want to hear it. Like I get it. They're not ready.
Like they do that at my wife's nail salon. She's got this one girl that she always goes to, and then they tell her, "Oh, she went to China.
She'll be back. She'll be back. Whatever. Don't worry, keep coming back."
And then like she's like, "Okay, whatever. Like I'll go to somebody else." But she like it's just like going to a stylist or a barber. It's it's the same person you go to. They know what you like. Well, she finds out that like the girl isn't in China. Like she just went to a different location, and the owner didn't want to fucking tell her that she went to a different location because she didn't want to lose the business. Right. I get it, but like that's how it is in the hair world. You know, when you pull clients, especially if you're pulling, dude. If you're a one stylist or a color girl, like, and you're pulling those people, dude, that's a big cash flow loss.
Sure.
Yeah, and the referrals from that, especially if a girl's been with you for 3, 4, 5 years.
It's a lot. I think it's also kind of part of it's become part of the industry. It's the most cannibalized industry, I think.
Do a lot of these girls still smoke? I remember, dude, these girls would
Just a
smoke
handful.
constantly, dude.
Just a handful.
I'd be in the back taking the garbage out, dude, and these girls would just be hitting darts all day.
Ripping it
Yeah, and then my mom would make them chew gum and stuff like that.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
dude, they had to
Yeah.
not smell like smoke. Like,
Right.
Back in the day, I kind of think it went hand in hand. Like you went
Yeah.
out and you drank on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and then you just smoked in between. To keep
It was a thing. It
Yeah.
wasn't even a thing. Like,
Yeah.
it was just a thing to do. Nobody thought twice of that.
yeah, but hairdressers. I just remember like the hairdresser drama, like in the back room, dude.
Yeah.
I could talk to you like this because like I know like
Yeah.
how at least it was just the back
Yeah,
room.
we try to eradicate that, but I mean, I do feel like Well, true to your point of the backstabbing is when I left in '98, and I was opening my salon. Obviously, it shot through Tricoci like a freaking rocket. Like it was an earthquake in there. People just don't leave there.
Yeah.
Right.
So I left, and one of my close friends at the time, two of them were colorists there. And I remember they caught wind of it, and they approached me, and they said, if you're leaving, we're leaving too. And I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm leaving by myself. No. No way. If you quit, So I left, and two colorists followed me. I never wanted that to happen, number one.
Catching
Never-
heat.
I would say that's because
Because
it draws a little more attention to you, right?
Well, yeah, it's not like you
I think I was-
intentionally did
Right.
that, but
Right.
I think I was more concerned about my relationship with Mario. than
Right.
I
no,
was
for
anything
sure.
else.
Yeah. And
But-
your father's relationship. And,
For sure.
Yeah, you didn't
And
want
I
any bad
brought-
blood.
I still have my client list. I brought 500 clients in there. I'm shit you not. In 94, when I came, whenever it was 94, 93, 94, I came and I brought literally all my clients with. So I showed up with clients. I only wanted to leave with those same clients.
Yeah.
Because that's not my MO. Right? I want to do it on my own.
Yeah.
You already heard my early story. There's no fucking chance I'm stealing something from somebody and leaving
Yeah,
and going
exactly.
acting like it's mine. It's not yours. It's not yours. But the ones that I built one at a time, and everybody has to do this somewhere, I get it, followed me everywhere.
Yeah. They've been loyal.
Yeah. So I leave. Everybody at Tricoci knows what I'm doing. Okay. One of my closest friends in there. To this day, I still talk to this person, but they'll remain nameless.
Sure.
Was telling clients that, I don't think Pete's doing hair anymore. I think he even moved out of state. I don't think he's doing hair anymore. I'm like,
This person's saying that to
to clients that are coming
clients
in
that
the
are
salon,
coming
right?
in. Yeah.
Because this is the cannibalistic behavior of Tricoci and the infinite poison. We call it the Tricoci poison. And everybody has it. I had it at one point too.
sure.
If you work there right now, don't take offense. Okay, you have it too.
Mm-hmm.
If you leave there, it takes at least a calendar year to eradicate it if you're in a good spot and have good people around you. Don't get mad. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Okay, I had it too. Got a chip on your shoulder. You could attest it. Like you said, you even described it, where your mom has these like Aveda employees, and you always looked at it as like, oh, what are they doing? So
Yeah.
there is an inherent like
Who are you? Like, like you're the
Yeah.
competitor. It's like, dude, you do the same service, but different. Like it's a different product per se, or a different service that you're giving.
Yes.
The style's different. Whoever prefers whichever, and there is. And both make great money. Depending
Yeah.
on what your style is. If that's your style to be more like a Veda, more holistic, very natural, you know, not as uppity as far as like upbeat energy wise, then okay, that's you.
Yeah.
Versus, a Tricoci. It is what it is.
correct. Yeah.
But yeah, like I could totally see like somebody just, cause that's a commission right there.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, okay, well, Pete just dropped the ball here. Fuck it. I'm going to clean up
It's
the
not
mess.
just one person.
Pete has a lot of clients.
Yeah, that's
I'm going to
they're
try to
looking
score
at-
his clientele.
They're looking like there's
number.
blood in the water. And I'm not going to
chump.
tell, but it's unfortunate, but it happens,
Yeah.
So you started at this. Did you start your place right then and there? Is that what you did?
So yeah, I was building it, and I remember my last day in there, I had a back and forth with Mario in a meeting, and the meeting did not go great. Like I feel like he was sniffing it out, right? So he was talking to me because I was one of 3 holdouts in that salon that did not sign a new contract that he just put globally across the whole company.
Were they 1-year deals or what?
So it was a new non-compete agreement that he had revised by his attorneys, and then it went globally across all of Tricoci's. So everybody, for it to be binding, everybody that's employed at Tricoci has to sign it.
Oh, really?
Right.
Interesting.
So this is back in the, so me and 2 others, the 2 others that are coming with me are the 3 holdouts that didn't sign it.
Yeah.
So he shows up one day and he has a meeting with me. It's a Saturday. I get done doing my last client. The first thing he says to me is, that client you did you bring that client from Barrington with you? I go, yes, I did. So he's already like sniffing it out. Like he wants to know who's his. He's already drawn a line in the sand. Who's my clients? Who's your clients?
Yeah, of course.
And I'm like, yes, it is. So I'm very respectful. We have a meeting, and he's like, you're going to need to sign the contract. And I'm like, Mario, I'm not signing that contract. I'm sorry, I can't do it. He's like, well, then you're choosing to not work here. I says, oh, so you're firing me? He says, no, you're choosing to not work here. I says, no, I'm choosing to work here and not sign it. He's like, then you're not working. You're the one that's choosing to quit. I'm like, I'm not choosing to quit. And we go back and forth.
Yeah.
Like it's like an arm wrestle that's going nowhere, right? It's like a stalemate.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, well, I'll tell you what, today's Saturday. I'm going to be back in the salon on Monday. I'm going to show up here in the morning on Monday and assume that all my clients are going to be in the book. He's like, if you show up on Monday, none of your clients will be in the book. So literally it was my last day. I walked out and that was it. My best friend from high school, he and I went to high school together, beauty school together. And he and he was in St. Charles working at a salon. I'm sorry, Geneva.
What was the salon?
He was working at Bronzino's.
Yeah, downtown Geneva.
Yeah, he was working at Bronzino's.
I don't think it's still there anymore, is it?
No, I don't think so. And he was in St. Charles.
I know
for a while.
exactly where it was.
The funny story about that is Tim Bronzino actually worked with Joe Tristino, my beauty school instructor in Glen Ellen, and Tim Bronzino was Joe Tristino's protege. So he trained under Joe Tristino. So it's we're all kind of connected. Mm-hmm. So my best friend he wound up working and going to Geneva at Bronzino's and working there, and he was not happy. And I told him we're going to open a salon, and we looked at places, and then we settled in North Arlington Heights because it was 4 miles away from Tricoci. He left
in Barrington,
in Arlington Heights.
Yeah, but the Tricoci's that you were 4 miles away from Barrington.
No, the Tricoci I was 4 miles away was Schaumburg. I was at the Schaumburg. I was at the one on Mall Drive, the big location.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so he came from Geneva.
That feels farther than 4 miles, but I guess not.
It is, yeah. It's far. It had to be 4. So that's why we went there. We're at least 4 miles away. And because I was trying to respect a contract, the one I had signed initially, which after I left and the last 3 holdouts were not there, that contract was null and void anyway, so I probably couldn't win. I could have went anywhere. Okay, so anyway, we're already building it. We're moving on. My best friend's coming from Geneva. He obviously he's giving up all his clientele. Yeah. He is. He literally walked away from, I don't know, I mean, I don't really know how busy.
Too, bro. That's a tough ass.
Well, I didn't even. Yeah. It was kind of one of these things where he
was ready for a change. Yeah, he was ready for a change.
Yeah.
And you know those people weren't going to drive all the way to fucking Arlington Heights, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. So, and I don't even know how many he had, and maybe there was a situation where he kind of wanted to start over on clients. Okay, so when we started, all my clients followed. So I was literally behind the chair, and I think I was making like $200. I'm not even lying, every 2 weeks, because we decided to pay the loan we got back very fast.
Sure.
And we did on my clients.
What was the loan for? Just equipment, stations, mirrors, everything?
Everything. Yeah. It was like so we wanted it to be about a collective group of people. In the 70s, my dad's salon in Wheaton was called Shampoo. Okay, it was there for a lot of years. He was super busy, and he had a ton of people working for him, and it was always a really energetic spot. When we opened, I came from Tricoci's, he came from Bronzino's. We didn't want to name it a name. We called the salon Shampoo Blue.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it was like not in honor of my dad's salon. It was just kind of something that popped into our heads one day.
Yeah.
And at the time, I'm at my girlfriend, who's Lisa at the time, and she's not my fiance yet, but we're at her house, and then we, kind of threw that name out, and everyone was like, it was me, my best friend, and his wife, and then my future wife, and like, oh my God, we love it, whatever.
I was thinking more like it was like a dog groomer called Shampoo. That's what it sounded like.
Well, and believe me, like in '98, it was like game changing. Like we put out a postcard that literally it was
mailers.
It was 5 of us on a glossy postcard, and we looked like the Ramones. Okay,
sure.
We're all in black. My hair's down to here.
Especially what day goes over there in North Arlington Heights.
None.
We gotta see that. We gotta see that. If you got that card.
But dude, those mailers were hot back then. I gotta be honest with you, because we used to dump them at the post office all the time.
For sure.
all the time.
And at the time, we didn't have the connectivity of the internet, right? So we make this postcard. On the top of it, it says, question, do you get compliments on your hair? Underneath it, it said, answer, we do, in capital letters. Like, we were so cocky and arrogant.
Yeah.
None of us are smiling in the picture. We just look like, this looks like a place you have to go.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
We go out and, we hit I'm already busy. I'm behind the chair doing a lot of hair. One of my colorists is infinitely busy because she and I share a lot of clients together, right? She's a rock star colorist. She was amazing. Actually, both of them that came, freaking amazing. So we had a great start. The three of us collectively were crushing it. And then my business partner was kind of like, he was still trying to build and that kind of thing. But we went and stuck these postcards in mailboxes. I know we weren't supposed to. We did. We blanketed the area. We made a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Everybody had to come and see us, and I think we paid the loan off in less than 8 months, I think.
Wow.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so you could understand how busy I was. Now, this is, we have a loan to pay back. At the time, my
Who gave you the loan? A bank or?
Yeah, a bank gave us a loan. So I remember we showing up there. Actually, ultimately, my former business partner, my best friend, he had a duplex that he had to put up as collateral.
Okay.
So I didn't have anything. And it came from an apartment, But I remember showing up at the bank, and I had my client list of 500, and I slapped it on the table, and I go, "Here's my collateral."
Yeah. Boom.
That's a tough thing for service people. Banks are just that you're not buying like an asset per se. I mean, there are assets that you bought with the money, but
he didn't want to give. I mean, this guy didn't. We're the last people he wanted to give money to.
I know,
right?
That's how it was for me when I got out of school, dude.
Big risk.
I didn't have shit. My wife had to take a home equity line of credit out on her condo in River Forest so we could put enough money down. Because we had nothing, dude. Like zero. I had a fucking broken down Orkin truck that was used.
Seriously?
Yeah. I know. Like, so that's the stuff I used to say, like, I remember,
do you know what?
dude.
You should
like,
do a fucking podcast.
Yeah, we should. Maybe we'll interview one of these days.
That's amazing, though.
Yeah, he's got a story.
But yeah, dude, people don't realize that, like, if you're a service provider, whether you're an attorney or an accountant or a doctor or whatever, a hairdresser, a barber, like, the bank sees it very difficult to give you money when you just have accounts and you don't actually have any tangible assets. So you have to co-sign and you got to sign your life away, essentially, because if you default on the loan, like, they're going to take everything you got. And if you don't have anything, forget it. They're not even going to talk to you.
They want it back, yeah. They want it back, and they want it back fast. Yeah.
If I didn't have my wife, dude, or like somebody to help me, like to put their name down, I would have been fucked.
Thank God.
Yeah. And that's the struggle too. Like, how do you start a business now, like coming out of school, and like you're limited by how much money you can make, right? And the time, like the time to be a stylist, you're there all the time. When do you have the time to actually start a business, like a side hustle?
Right.
Or save up enough money?
Difficult.
The people that do on a small level are people that have people in their family and their close friends that build stuff and that do things. You got an electrician, you got a plumber, people could do it. You've saved money.
Yeah.
You've stuck money under your mattress, whatever it is. You borrowed money from an uncle or whatever, because it's like
a lot of the girls that I remember working with my mom, like, not that they were all like single moms or whatever, but like their significant other wasn't making big zort. It was like, they were living off of tips, dude, or like, they were just, it was different.
Right.
It wasn't to start a business, like even now, like you got kids coming out with $400,000 or $500,000 in the hole and they have zero assets. Like, how can you, like, even from, that's the problem too. Like, I don't know if it is for like you, but I remember when my mom sold, like, it was like a year and a half it took, dude, to get the deal done because you're looking, okay, these are the assets. Okay, this is the overhead. This is the rent. How many years are left on the lease? Like, but this is our book of business. The bank's gonna expect that you're gonna lose 20 or 30%. That's why they require the owner or whoever that service provider is to stay on and do a transition. And then now it's like, who's gonna come and buy my business? What kid is gonna buy my business?
No.
You're forced to sell to like a private equity.
You are,
because no bank is going to give a kid out of school or somebody that's just starting the money to put down on the business, and it's like, what do you do?
The collegiate, that's
like back then when you started, you could start with a lower loan. Like now, you got to have your marketing, your social media, your website, like.
For sure.
I'm sure that's something that's changed from when you started doing the mailers in the mailboxes. Like, what kind of marketing you do today?
So right now, 100% of our marketing is digital. We do nothing by mail. Okay, and all of it is literally a strategic SEO push, and then Google AdWords campaigns, and then marketing. But let me tell you something So I remember being approached early on by I forgot what they changed their name. Yellow Pages when they went digital.
White Pages.
They went to something digital. I forgot what they called it. But anyway, I remember meeting with several different guys, and they were saying, "Okay, we're going to get you into an SEO package, and this is going to get you high in the rating. You're going to be on the first 1 to 3 pages. Your name's going to constantly pop up, and this is what we're going to do for you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, this sounds really great."
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to be $2,500 a month. And I remember this is in 2013. 14. I'm like, okay, let me think about that. So I meet with one of my friends who he used to work for an advertising company that job placement, job opportunities. And he's like, "Pete, I got a good insight for you." I'm like, "What's that?" He's like, "You're going to open up a Google AdWords campaigns, and it's going to cost you exactly $67 a month, and it's going to do almost the exact same thing that this guy's offering you."
Okay.
And I'm like, "What?" Like, yeah. So he showed me how to do it, and I went on and I created 4 different Google AdWords campaigns. And what I did is I strategically put in words that helped along the way to draw people to my business. And some of those are Tricoci, Aveda,
bid on those
Schomburg, right? Yeah. All of these things. And then, and then people who are looking for great haircuts in my area.
Yeah.
Okay. All of this is great and fantastic. Like if you do a search for Peter DeLuca Salon on Google, I'm going to pop up within the first couple pages. That is because of our clients. And here's why. Nothing is ever going to take the place in a physical service like a physical service and an interaction and a connection to my clients. My clients are like my family. I watch them grow up. I watch your kids grow up. I've been at their weddings, to their weddings. I've done hair for their weddings. I've been there when people die. I've been there when people are born. Okay? The connection that we have is unmatched. They leave. They immediately, within a day of their appointment, they get an email saying, "How was your experience?" And they're going to give us a review. They click 5. They get another email that says, "Hey, throw it on Google." Our clients have generated more business by this method than any amount of money I've ever spent on anything. And I get people coming in all the time, but you got to do Groupon. You got to do RSVP postcards. You got to do. Okay. I got to do Ugats.
I was just going to say, I'm going to do Gots. I got this setup that's working really, really well. Why would I do that? Why would I touch that? That's great.
So
it's amazing.
Now you're probably referral-based business, a good chunk of it.
Yeah, referral-based. Are you ready? You ready for the bomb and all of this?
Let's hear it.
Okay, so my best friend and business partner, we opened in 98. In 2012, I catch him embezzling.
Oh,
no. Yeah. So imagine what we built from 98 till 2012. Right?
Fuck.
We got so some things started happening early on, and it moved us in this position of power in the area. I felt like we were generating really beautiful hair, and everyone was coming to us, and it was awesome, and we were getting new team members, and it was really, really cool. And then all of a sudden something started to happen. I noticed a shift. I wanted the wall green, he wanted the wall black, so we would paint it gray and both hate it. I wanted the floor, to be tile. He wanted it to be wood, so we would paint it black and both hate it.
Yeah.
These kind of things started happening.
Okay.
So in 2006, I sit my wife down. Keep in mind that this is my best friend since summer of 8th grade. We're best men at each other's weddings. He's my son's godfather.
A lot of history.
He lived with my family for a year in Florida, like I told you earlier. So we are inseparable. We are blood. He is literally, I would have laid myself down on tracks for him my whole life. I always introduced him as my brother because he was my brother. So when this kind of thing happens, I feel like it was one of these things where a bomb went off and I really I almost couldn't believe it. But it rewinded, and in 2006, I sit my wife down and I go, "Lisa, let me tell you something." I says, "I think I want to leave the salon." She's like, "Your own salon? What are you talking about?" She's still working, mind you, at Tricoci and Schomburg at the time.
Oh, wow. She's still hustling.
Yeah. So I'm like, I just feel like I want something different. I went and I spoke with my friend Anthony Cristiano, who owns Anthony Cristiano Salon in downtown. And he's like, "Pete, I'll hire you in a half a second. If you want to come here, you can come here." He's like, "But you have to understand that, your clients, you're going to get a handful of clients that come here. The parking situation is different. It's all valet based. It's also hard to build a loyal clientele because, we're in a hotel and then there's going to be a lot of transit." Anyway, he went on and on. But he made a lot of sense of what he said. But then I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll go somewhere else in the city And I just felt this angst. This is 2006. I wanted to get out. Here's what my wife said. Resonates with me to this day. She goes, Pete, you can't leave. You can't leave because your business partner, my friend, she goes, if you leave,
he's fucked.
He'll close.
Yeah.
He's fucked. You can't do that to him and his family, she said to me.
And this is before you had any inkling of like embezzlement.
Correct. This is 2006.
Maybe your wife just thought, hey, you guys are, you know, sibling fighting or whatever you want to call it, or
Bump
whatever.
in the road.
Yeah.
Or my
you guys are two old fucks now, you know. Just
get it together and move on. Yeah.
Midlife crisis.
I started thinking it was me. Midlife crisis. I had this angst or whatever. I was like, no. I need something more. Like I always need something more.
Yeah.
My wife tries to reel me in a lot on this, and she's like, she's my stability. You know, she's my pillar. She's my, you know, she's my rock. Because sometimes I go off the rails. I'm like, no. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to LA and we're gonna open a big 2-story nightclub. You know, I'm gonna DJ the top floor and the bottom's gonna be hair. Like she's like, you're not.
It's a great.
I like that
idea actually. You need investors?
Yeah, I know. We're going all in. So she says you can't. And then I settle down. I start reading some books. I try to calm myself, and then oddly enough, you know, we right the ship a little bit. We keep going how we're going.
Was he like coming over to like Sunday dinner or like?
Oh, we used to get together. We vacationed together. I mean, at every single milestone, we saw them for every holiday.
Yeah.
So like, you know, we were inseparable. This is my brother.
So sad.
Okay. So we wind up ultimately. I don't know if you remember this, but back in the day, when you got your bank statements, see, I was the artistic director, right? So I handled all the stuff that was
creative,
and then because he had a lot of time early on, he would handle all the stuff that was like transactional,
AR, PR.
But we did have we had an accounting firm that did all the legal stuff, right? Okay, so he was going on vacation with our accountant, just him and our accountant, the two of them together.
That's weird.
Don't you think that's fucking weird?
Yeah. Did they invite you? Why didn't you go?
No, I wasn't invited to that.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, you think of accountants like I don't, you know, like I couldn't see you hanging out with an accountant.
Thanks.
You know,
yeah.
Well, you know, you're a classic accountant. You know, like you know, he wears
Here
a
we
button
go.
down,
Here we go.
sits behind a desk.
I take it as a compliment.
Right. I'm just thinking of my accountant. Shout out to Dan Augustine, RJ Augustine. The guys are great. They're in Schaumburg.
God bless.
But you know, and he's a cool guy. I love his dad. But you know, like your typical like accountant's like a square. You know what I'm saying? Like
okay.
I'm just saying. I mean, nothing against. I mean, except for Mike Turry. Shout out to Mike Turry.
Yep. Big Mike.
But we know a ton that are great and very successful and things like that. But I mean, traditionally, like if you own a business and your business partner is going on vacation with the accountant, there are some things. Okay, so back in the day when the bank statements came in, the bank statements were usually just numbers. You would have a dollar amount on one side, and then on the other side would be the check number. Okay, and then eventually in 2012, our bank transitioned to including
headers,
the check images on the bank statement. Okay, so I remember these came in. I remember looking through it, and then I started seeing images of the checks and where they were written to and the amounts that they were written from. And that's when I went home. I'll never forget. It was a Thursday. I went home, and I said, I told my wife, and I said, I'm being embezzled. And it was like on all levels. It was like...
Who was you writing the checks to? Himself? Friends? Family?
So... Initially, it was like exorbitant amounts every week to Costco, okay? To Costco. And then there was the first check I found. I found a check for $1,600 written out to Costco.
Yeah, so he was buying like personal stuff and writing it off through the business.
Yeah. So you can do, then there's some other things too. Like I remember there was 2 checks a month going to AT&T and then 2 checks a month going to Nicor. So he was paying his home Nicor gas bill, home AT&T bill with salon money.
Right.
Okay. So...
which you can do if you're the only person.
Yeah, if you own
and you
it,
just put it as shareholder distribution. But when you have another partner,
50-50 partnership.
It's not like he wasn't doing anything like illegally per se, like with the IRS, but he was doing it illegally with obviously cheating against his partner.
Right.
Yeah,
correct.
Right.
So
which is fucked up, dude. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it gets really nasty. So I wind up going to my bank and I get an audit of, I need all the check images now. And so they go to work, like, okay, I'm going to have to call corporate. It's going to take me a couple weeks.
How do you go?
I went back as far as I could.
Yeah.
So I went to Costco, and I don't know if you noticed, but you can go to Costco and you can get a full edit on everything that's ever purchased on your account.
Really?
Yeah.
They were fantastic. They were very helpful.
The customer service over there is like nothing else.
It's second to none, dude.
Yeah.
It's next level.
Good service.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So they wind up giving me
And they don't have self-checkout. Thank God, Costco. Thank you.
Well, they do.
They
I
do, but
see.
it's monitored.
They do?
Yeah,
They do, but
very
they're-
highly monitored.
They're all over you.
Yes.
The thing starts talking to you if you do
Also,
something wrong.
if you put something on that's the different weight or not put something, like it's going to yell at you. Hold on a second.
But usually, I
It's-
mean, minimal, if anything. I've never seen them.
well, they don't want you going with a lot
Please
of
wait
orders.
for associate.
Yeah, they don't want you
Yeah.
putting a lot of.
But like, we'll get out. That's a
Free by
side
Costco.
topic.
Free by
The fucking
So-
self-checkout. So, oh my God.
Yeah.
This goes back to
Jeez.
fucking lazy people.
It's so annoying.
You know?
Yeah.
Come on. Like, come on. I got to do your job. I got to do
Dude.
your job now too?
It's, especially the price you're paying for the groceries. Like, why can't you have a fucking human interaction?
Astronomical.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't want to open up.
where's
those
Timmy? Where's Timmy bagging?
Timmy don't know he's working, bro. Timmy don't know he's working.
Timmy doesn't know he's fucking working. You know what I'm
Timmy
saying?
the bagger.
No, you
Timmy-
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I want to
it's
hear what
true.
happened at
All right,
Costco.
yeah. So you pull the account, you pull the audit from Costco.
So I pulled a full audit, and it takes like a long time because initially he's like, how far back do you want to go? I'm like, I want you to go back to inception of our account. He goes, I can go back as far as I can go. Now before that, we had an account at Sam's Club. So now I'm automatically doing the math, and I'm thinking years before that we had Sam's Club, and I guarantee you he was doing it then. Okay. One caveat to this is he builds a house in West Chicago. As he's building this house, I'm wondering how he's building this house because my haircuts are almost double the price of his haircuts.
yeah,
Okay. So
his wife doesn't work.
his wife was working. She was still
Okay.
working at Geneva at the time.
Okay.
So I think she moved to a different salon. Anyway, I wind up, I wind up looking at the numbers, and I know that we do these payroll checks, and then I sign the check. I would meet him every Thursday, and we would do payroll together. Okay, so
Who was your payroll company? Paychecks?
no, we did payroll ourselves.
Oh, you did
yeah,
yourself?
yeah, we did our own payroll. So with the payroll, you're not seeing anything weird. Like
No.
it's just payroll.
Yeah.
But I always knew that my checks were infinitely higher than his checks because we were paid as employees.
Sure. Yeah.
And if I'm an employee behind the chair and I'm producing, arguably when he came over, he couldn't charge the amount he was charging, so he had to build up. So it was a little challenging for him at the beginning. So take nothing away from that process. But because of that, he was always behind me in the price of
Yeah,
haircuts.
it was under the gun a little bit.
So then he also started doing color here and there, which, in our salon we were departmentalized. So that should have been a no-no from the jump, but it's like I understood. And it's like, it's half his salon, to whatever. So even with the color and the cutting, my checks were infinitely more than his. So I knew what I had. I knew what he had.
Yeah.
I saw what he was building
Like, yeah, it
in
doesn't
his
make
house,
sense.
right? I mean, I think one time he flew to Texas with, at the time, his brother-in-law, and he came home with a yellow Porsche Boxster. And I remember thinking, oh, that's a badass car. But this is also my brother. This guy's my best
Yeah,
man
you
at my
never- you
wedding.
never
where
think-
he's my son's godfather.
Yeah, you
for
think,
fuck's sake.
yeah,
You know what I'm
His wife's
saying?
hustling. Yeah, you think
can't
his wife.
imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, so I do my due diligence, and my wife and I go to work, and we turn our kitchen into a full-blown audit center.
How long does this take? This entire
So
due
this
diligence
was
period?
Yeah, this was October.
Discovery. We'll call it discovery.
Here's part of it. Okay, so when we first approached him and his wife, I called them up, and it was a Sunday. I said, hey, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. I'm at home. I'm like, and I'm already on my way to his house. I'm 5 minutes away. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to come over. He's like, oh, no, today's not a good day. I'm like, no, today's a good day. Because I think he knows alarms are going off.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, bro, that's good.
I'm in the car, and I call him, and I'm like, is your wife home? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, be right there. I got Lisa in the car with me. So we go, and we sit down. And I'm sitting here, my wife's sitting next to me. His wife is sitting there, and he's sitting in front of my wife. And I have papers in front of me. I have a small stack. We only did like 3 months worth of audits, so we didn't have a lot. We had enough. Okay. So I have it upside down in front of me. And his wife's like, what's going on? And I look at him and I'm like, are you okay? He says, well, what do you mean? I go, are you in financial trouble? And I'm looking him dead in the eye, and he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, do you be honest with me? Do you have a drug problem? Is the family in danger? Gambling. Is there something going on?
Yeah, what's going on? You had empathy a little bit.
I was going to say, that's huge right
that's
there.
tough. I would come in hot.
That's huge right there.
Do you know the sweat coming off my body at this moment? Do you have any idea?
To sit there
I'm
and just
getting
be
sweats right
calm,
now. To be honest
dude.
with you. I'm feeling it right now.
And, you have all that research, and you're like, just to sit there and like have some empathy at least, or like just like give them a
Be
benefit of the
straight.
doubt at the end.
Right.
You know,
Be
I mean,
straight
it takes
with
a
me.
lot of Balls, man.
You know,
Okay,
part of
so-
me is this is a relationship.
Yeah,
that
it's a long relationship.
In the inside of me,
You just
part
don't
of me
think
is
it's
trying
real.
to save.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
it's exactly.
I wouldn't have
true.
believed it either. And you got to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
What do you say?
So now the passive aggressive comes out in him. His wife says, "What's going on?" And she has no idea. I can tell she has no idea. So she's looking at him like, "What's going on?" So he leans back and he's like, "What do you got?" I'm like, "Oh, what do I got?" Okay. I flip it over. I go, "Okay, fucko, here's what I got."
Yeah, you wanna be a
I don't
jag
push
bag?
it
Here
in
I
front of
go.
him.
Yeah.
I push it in front of his wife. I go, "Your husband's been embezzling." And immediately my wife is crying. She goes, "How could you?" She points in his face. "How could you fucking do this to our whole? How could you do this to our family? We would." I literally look at him and I go, I loved you with every fiber of my body. Get the fuck up. Get in the office. You get everything that has a salon's name on it. You give it to me right fucking now. And he does. He gets up. He goes and gives it.
He knew he was
He knew it was
fucked.
wrong. Yeah, he
And then I
was
say,
doing it wrong.
and then I say to him, "Is there anything else that I should know?" No.
I'm gonna find out.
That's what I said. I go, "You're a sick fucking." And my wife is like beside herself. Okay.
Dude, I feel so bad for his wife, especially if she
had no
wasn't
idea.
involved.
She was
How
shell-shocked.
fucking embarrassing is that?
Uh-huh. She was shell shocked. And then I could show you text messages from her like to my wife, and then to this day, just as a reminder, I have on my phone, I have documentation. I have the checks. I have a hidden folder on my phone that has several checks and several corresponding audits from Costco on it.
Yeah.
Just to remind me, like
Yeah.
you know,
We'll
this-
back it up for you too. Don't
who
worry.
this fucker
It's,
is.
it's already backed up
Yeah.
6 times.
We'll
I'm
back
sure.
it up for
I'm
you.
sure it's backed
Yeah.
up.
So
Man,
we
no.
go home and then we do another several months of research, and then every time I look, I find stuff. And then
It's almost like you're like you don't even want to look because you're like fuck it, just move on now because it just builds that animosity and you never get to like actually start the grieving process of like moving on.
yeah. So I had to walk back into my salon the next day.
People are
Right.
asking you where's so and so, and then you're trying to be happy face and not tell your other employees. And then you
That
know,
must have been impossible.
Yeah, it was nuts. When I remember when I got there, my chair was the first chair in the salon, and then his was the second. So I came in early. I took everything out of my station and I moved it all the way at the fucking end. And I remember parking it there until I got him out. And what progressed?
so you
later-
allowed him to transition out from the salon. Wow.
Yeah. What had happened at this point, like I'm finding stuff and I'm also confronting him on stuff. And then I know he's a fucking groomer. Okay, so he knows how to work people, right? He knows how to work people. So he'll tell people in his circle, you know, Pete's lying. It's not. You know,
Sure.
Of course he's going to say
He's
that.
lying.
Of course he's going to say that.
So I remember one day we're at work and we're dealing with this and we haven't
Yeah,
moved
people
anywhere from it.
feel the tense.
Yeah. He wants to have a meeting with me out back. And I remember we walk out back of the salon and I'm like, "What the fuck do you want? Got nothing to say to you." And he's like, "Look it, when people, you can't say anything about what's going on because clients can't know." And I remember leaning in and I go, "You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to promise myself and you right now that whenever anybody asks me what happened, I'm going to tell them exactly what fucking happened. And I'm going to tell them every fucking detail what happened."
Yeah.
And I
It's the
remember,
truth.
he turned around and walked back inside. And to this day,
I'm
my
surprised
hand
he
to God,
stayed.
I was just going to say that. I can't
For
believe he
him
came
to have the
back.
balls to walk in and still be in the salon cutting hair and
I can't believe
transitioning
that.
clients, bro.
Yeah.
so I wind
He
up.
must have really not given a fuck, dude, to even have the balls to walk back in. Like, no remorse, nothing on his conscience. He probably gave up on that a while ago after he started fucking stealing.
Yeah.
He was justifying it, though. He was. I'm sure there was a way for him to justify
in his
it.
head,
to
he
his
was
head.
probably justifying
He's,
it.
"I have
He's
to
like,
do
oh,
this.
Pete's
This is-"
probably naive, doesn't realize it. Like, what's he going to think? And, you know, maybe it started off as, hey, I need a little bit extra cash because, like you said, his cuts were less per client. And, he came from a salon where he had a base and now he doesn't. And he needed to keep up with what Pete was doing and, whatever it was. And,
Yeah.
and I would say his, subconsciously, he was like,
I need to do this.
yeah. And he was embarrassed probably with himself, and he's an idiot for doing it.
Passive aggressive disorder at its
Yeah.
finest. And then, obviously trying to save face and, with some of the employees in the salon. And so, where I felt like almost everybody in there was poisoned at the time,
Oh,
whether
for
it was
sure.
due to his grooming or to the nature of our relationship together. right? Because I'm part to blame too. I'm in there.
How many girls you got in there with you?
So at this time, we probably have 7 or something. You know, we have 7. So ultimately, I wind up asking him several times. Now, keep in mind, now I'm doing payroll. I'm seeing everything that's coming in. And at the time when he was doing payroll,
I'm getting a fucking increase in pay.
Right.
I'm getting a.
Ironically, my
salary's going up.
Ironically, we were able to pay all the bills all of a sudden. When I go fucking, all of a sudden we're getting out of the hole.
What the fuck? Why am I working so hard and it's just we're at fucking zero? What's going on here?
Correct. So, he winds up. I wind up having a few meetings with him, and he's at my house every 2 weeks to do payroll at my house now. And every time he's there, I'm leaning into him, and I remember one time I leaned into him. I go, you're a sick fuck. You're a disgusting human being. I go, I don't know how you kiss your wife. Like, I don't know. Like, it got so bad for me.
Yeah.
And I remember praying to God because there was a time where I used to think to myself, how will my kids survive when I'm in jail? I had to center myself and I had to find a place of forgiveness, as hard as this might sound, right? So I ultimately got to a point where I remember this one time we're sitting and he's sitting next to me and we're doing payroll and I say these things to him. I'm like, it's you're disgusting, and he's like, all right, that's it. And he gets up and he goes to leave and he gets to the door and I go, before you walk out of my house, I just want you to know, if you walk out of my house right now, I said, I'm going to sue you for every fucking thing you have. And I will be relentless. I will take your fucking house, your cars, and your kids' clothes. And I remember he let go of the door and he came back in and he sat down. A week later, I gave him a paper that I had my lawyer draw up, and it said, you're going to pay Pete back X amount of dollars. Now, I'll just
charge him juice?
Just for, I should have.
Give him a little.
Just for scope, okay?
Yeah.
I know that there's a monetary amount here that I'm not going to account for, right?
Sure.
Not going to be.
It's unknown because you just don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I do know that the total amount from Costco alone was in the neighborhood of $75,000.
Holy crap!
Okay, that was
over how
just,
many years?
That was just Costco. So that was probably 2003
to
to 2012.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're talking about like when his kids were very small. So there's diapers on there, TVs, computers, booze, wine. Okay, so fast forward, and I decide on a number that's, you can only take half of that because if it's bought through your business,
you both share the loss.
Right, you share the loss. So I wind up cutting that in half, and then I feel bad for his kids because I loved his kids, and I still want them to do good things and be okay. So I
you can't punish them per se.
Right, it's not their fault. Right.
And his wife didn't even know. So I'm like,
such a scumbag. Dude.
Okay, so I can't go.
Surprised his wife. Is his wife still with him?
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
So I can't go and I can't.
My wife would have left me. Swear to God.
Well, but wait a minute.
I would have left my wife. I've been so fucking embarrassed.
It's an embarrassing situation.
That's what a man does.
I would have left I'd be like, you know what? I let you down. I'm embarrassed. I fucked up. First off, I would have came clean. I would never let it happen. But if I was in the guy's situation, like, how do you just sit next to the guy and not actually like have any remorse? It just blows my mind.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
But even if fuck, dude, my wife would be, you're not a fucking man, dude.
Yeah.
You're fucking scum. Like, I'd be like, you're right. I am. Like,
oh man, that's a dangerous place.
But you have to understand that he is telling his wife
exactly.
a completely different story.
He's grooming her.
Right.
He's grooming
her. With this kind of demented mind has a gift to groom.
He has a way to spin the words.
Right? You see what I'm saying? So ultimately he signs it, and then every single week he has to cut me a check. So when he cut me a check on the last day.
And he's still working at the salon paying you. You got to make sure.
Yeah, so I could watch.
You got to keep him there so he's fucking paying you back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know any business that could survive what's happening here, right? This is like,
especially if clients know.
Oh, you feel thickness.
You feel the staff does. The staff's on eggshells. The vibe's different.
Everyone's on edge.
Yeah,
everyone's on edge, and you need to be on in
any service 100%. Industry. When you got people walking through the door.
I agree. Yeah, you got to be on.
Yeah.
So
it survived.
Yeah, it did.
How long did it take before you cut them out all 100%?
So in 2014, it was almost a year and a half because in 2014, I reincorporated under all new branding and got everyone out. The last person in the salon at one point.
Did you have to buy him out or anything like that, or
No.
did you have to do anything like where he like
No.
took a loss or anything? Nothing like that.
I went and had meetings with my landlord, and I had a lease dissolving rider brought up in the lease, and the lease cancellation agreement, and we dissolved the lease. And I remember approaching him after he gave me the last check. I said, I have articles drawn up to get you out of the salon. I says, if you have any problem with that, you let me know. And he didn't.
Yeah, of course he did.
But he also must have stole so much that he still had enough money to move and open a salon.
Sure.
Yeah. So he left
After
an open
fucking what 12 years, 98 to 2012.
Well, if he's spending like an idiot,
14
though,
years,
I mean,
dude.
I'm surprised he didn't blow through all of it.
Yeah.
Maybe he packed it away. Who knows, bro? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's some of that. But
Dude, 14 years is a long time to steal.
it's a long time.
And you guys opened up in what year?
98.
Yeah, so you've been stealing since the fucking get-go.
If you've been if it's
Maybe.
been that long,
Dude.
I often speculate
Fuck, close to $1 million, bro.
from do some quick math, right? So,
Yeah.
So
Just at Costco, 75 grand in how many years? Fucking 7 years? Like,
we
dude.
we
And
changed.
that's what he's blowing it on fucking whatever.
Right.
You know, the shit you can buy at Costco. Everyone knows. Everyone goes to Costco, dude. You could spend $1,000 every time you walk in.
Very
Yeah.
true. That's
You
very
know?
true.
Yeah.
You buy a case, you buy your steaks, you got to buy the whole fucking pack of 10.
You do.
You know? The toilet paper, you got to fucking toilet paper for a year. You know?
Everything's by the skid.
Dude, the milk's even bigger. The gallons of milk are even bigger. The eggs, you got to buy at least 18 eggs.
How is one
Totally.
gallon of milk bigger at Costco than a gallon of
I
milk?
don't. It just
Nonsense.
because they have that
It's
like
not-
cylinder square one, dude.
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right. It's more than a gallon.
Yeah,
Right,
and
right,
you want to
right.
buy almond milk? You got to buy 2 of the cartons.
Yeah.
You know.
I know. I hear you.
I don't go with the. I can't do it.
You
dude.
just run one row of sushi. You can't. You got to buy like 16 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
you
so
want to buy
true.
cookies, dude? You got to buy 48. You know,
Do you know how many frozen burritos I have in my freezer? Right
like.
now? Honestly,
From Costco?
from Costco.
Dude, my wife loves that.
Organic rice, bean, and
Yeah.
cheese burritos. I got like a
My
skid.
wife, she likes that spinach and artichoke dip that you get.
It's too
by-
big. It's too
Dude,
big.
Pete,
I can't finish
it.
that
It's
stuff.
it's so big that after it's like you can't.
Okay.
Like you got to throw it away.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
But next time your wife or my wife want to buy the spinach artichoke dip,
We're just gonna split it?
We're split it down the middle
Like,
because we can't finish that.
Jesus.
you know,
we
it's
can't.
wild though. That's a crazy story, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
What was funny is I mean, not funny, but like after all of it, and I started looking back at some other stuff as I was getting him close to getting out, and we changed the name of the salon one time because we felt like Shampoo Blue didn't really identify who we were, so
Right.
we changed the name of it, and when we changed the name of it, he was still in charge of the banking, right? So we opened up a new account under the new salon name, but he kept the old salon account open, and then he was writing checks from the new salon to the old salon account.
For whatever.
Yes. So those fucking checks I got pictures of too, with his signature all over them. So I mean, it's like, he was like stockpiling, and then I mean, it just like it just.
Did he not think that you were going to find out?
So at one point we did have a meeting. This is what I meant to tell you
Yeah.
guys. At one point we did have a meeting where I just said, you got to come clean as to why someone would do this. And he's like,
I just want to know.
He goes, I really don't know. I felt like I was in competition with you, was what he said.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, how are you in competition with your business partner?
We're fucking here together. It's a team sport, brother.
Yeah, exactly. We both win when we win.
Yeah, you might make a little bit more. I might make a little less, but they don't matter. It's like your wife, dude. Your spouse. You might make more. I might make less, or whatever, vice versa. But it all goes the same together.
You each contribute.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
I literally centered this all around. By the time all of this went down, it all made sense to me that the salon that I owned and was a part of was not as advanced as it should have been in my mind. Like I had the culture in my mind of what it should have been, the creative level of where it should have been, the employees of who they should have been, and it never was getting over that hump. And that's why in 06 I was like, I want to leave.
Yeah.
And
Because
then-
you felt like you were at a plateau, even though you were innovating and constantly moving. You're like, what the fuck? We're not moving the needle financially.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now this happens.
And you're
Fine, out.
like on an island, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Like I'm doing the same thing, but I'm doing it the best.
Yeah.
sure.
Right.
I'm doing all the Google stuff. I'm doing the flyers. We're getting new clients. Like, what the fuck, dude? Where's the money going?
Right.
You get
Right.
burned out almost, dude.
Well,
because you don't see progress.
And that explains it. That explains it.
For sure. And then I get everyone out. I rebrand. I remodel. I renovate completely, and I have a new resolve because I talk to God. Okay, I ask Him to give me the strength to forgive, because there's a part of me that will always love what He and I had up until this point.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not just talking about the business. I'm talking about
personal relationship
from
stuff.
a personal relationship. Everything we've been to. I mean, we've traveled
Can't forget
everywhere.
that.
We've been to Italy together. We've been to too many trips to count. We went to Sierros in Florida. I mean, we just inseparable. And then the friend collateral damage in the circle, because this Italian American community is like very small.
Knows everyone, right?
Right. So, I mean, obviously, smart money says, okay, the one that left is obviously the one that did the bad shit, and that's obvious, right? So we got him out. He left, and now I was able to refocus, recenter. My wife joined the salon years ago. The team that I have I think there's like 15 of us, 11 or 12 of us are from Tricoci and Schaumburg, because all of us still have that like-minded grind.
Mm-hmm.
My team is fucking magic.
How old are these girls?
They range.
Yeah.
Like we have some young, the youngest one is 18, 19, and then we have the oldest one I think is, I won't say her age, but she's older than me.
Yeah.
But my team is built on relationships that I built in the past, and that have been co-signed by the kinetics of the relationships that I've built and my wife has built.
Sure.
Right. So like-minded people gravitate towards each other. And don't get me wrong, once in a while, you get a bad seed and you have to eradicate the poison. You got to make these decisions as a business owner. This is it's just part of it. Not everybody's going to like me and love me. I also understand that I am them. I am no longer us. I get it. But I try to be us as much as possible because I love us. I don't love them. Right? And I don't want to be them. So I pay my employees very well. I want to make sure that they're always taken care of. I'm the yes guy. Whatever you need, you got it. You need a week off, a day off, come in late, leave, go.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you want, you got. If I have it and we win, you all win. So they have a better understanding of this is not your traditional salon environment. The salon is a black and for-profit entity. Whatever I make, I'm going to give back to my team.
Yeah.
If I don't make it, I can't give it back to them.
Sure.
So everybody in my team understands that the culture starts at the front, goes to the back, comes back to the front, and needs to come back again next month.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm blessed because we are a 2-time Salon Today top 200 salon in North America.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Since 2014, I rebuilt it where I was the only motherfucker in there standing by myself cutting hair, and I rebuilt it for myself. And I'm not saying that for any kind of ego.
Sure. No.
Right?
That's a very proud moment for you.
I'm saying that because how I was raised, you can't fucking stop me.
Yeah.
And I don't care what it is. If it's a DJ and you're my best friend, it's a battle. I know we're on the flyer together. I love you to pieces. I'll shake your hand. I'm going to give you a hug. Everything's a competition. From that, right? I have to be the best, better. What's next?
Mm-hmm.
And I will give it all back to those who are ride or die with me.
Love that.
So here we are. Here we are. Talking,
Yeah, it's a good culture.
talking to my new friends.
Yeah, you can't. That man, people love that kind of energy in a culture. You know, my staff loves it. We try to do that with ours too. I always tell our girls too, like, you might not be with me forever, but if I can help you get further along in business or whatever you want to do, or I can get you, 5 or 10 years worth of education and the time you're with me, like, then I did my job.
Yeah, you did.
And I used to get upset when like employees leave and I'd be like, what the fuck did I do? Did I do something wrong? Was I not?
It's kind of part of it.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we take it like family too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's very, that's what you say.
Yeah.
We want
You also
everybody
say that.
riding.
Yeah. Like, these girls, they sometimes watch my kids,
Yeah.
like
family.
1111 Salon in Arlington Heights. They're right off of technically they're in like maybe Rolling Meadows. They're on the south side by me.
Why do I know that name? I do know that name.
So Yvette Brancato,
Okay.
she owns it, and then her husband's Joe Brancato. He does HVAC, but she opened her salon maybe I want to say 3 years ago. It's called 1111. I forgot. I think they're on the corner of New Wilkie over there and something.
Okay.
They're on the border, like Rolling Meadows, Arlington Heights. But their daughter works for me. And like, dude, the girls that like, or the guys that like work for, or that they grew up like with their parents owning businesses, dude, they're built different,
They're
man.
cut different, man. They are.
Like, Ancona's daughter, Valentina, works for us.
Amazing.
Yeah, dude, like you tell her one time,
She gets it.
she gets it.
She's very sharp. Yeah.
Like I tell these people that come in, I'm like, dude, you don't have to know anything. I just need you to have a smile.
Yeah.
Ask somebody how you're doing. How can I help you? Like, have some energy.
It's awesome.
And like anybody could teach you whatever it is. Just have a personality. Like just be kind, man. Like have some fucking energy. You know? I always tell
That's
the girls.
they're really such a part from everyone else.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of people can do.
I can't stand it, dude. I'm like, why is
You
it
gotta
quiet
be on
here?
top of your
Like,
game.
what's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah,
Like, let's wake up, ladies. Let's wake up.
Make a little ruckus.
I know you guys are watching this.
Right.
And they probably say to me, "Oh, Doc's got to wake up. Doc's got to wake up."
Yeah.
so
but like
funny.
we have freestyle Fridays, dude, where we play freestyle.
It's fantastic.
We have espresso rolling. The guys are coming in.
Who's got the best running man in the office? That's what I want to know.
Not me. I don't know.
Oh man, look out.
We'll have to have Ancona try it out next time.
Maybe.
No, but
I want to know. So along the way, I want to talk about a little bit real quick about. So you went through a lot with that whole kind of whatever you want to call it season of your life where you found this out, and there's got to be some mistakes that you've made, right? Some Stunad moments along the way,
Plenty.
right? Can we talk about those? Can we bring any of that, like where you learned something? You're like, why did I do it this way? Why did I say it that way?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, what I just described to you was one of my biggest Stunad moments of all time, and I remember I've had clients say to me before, you guys are best friends. You're like brothers. You sure you want to be a business partner? Like, you should always be careful. And I used to think, oh my God, are you crazy? That's my brother.
Yeah. Right.
So that's a pretty big Stunad moment
Sure.
to take on.
Yeah.
And to have, to have to go through that and not, to take a hard look at yourself and go, how was I so naive and loving and trusting? Mm-hmm. But you also have to be very, very careful, because if you let that kind of nonsense get into you and then misguide your trust for the rest of your life, it's a bad way to live.
Sure.
you
can't
have like
carry
prejudice
hate.
against the situation just based off an experience.
Exactly. So
I have that on things too. I mean, it's tough, man. I don't know how you like. Do you have another best friend?
I have tons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamma Joe P is one of my best friends.
Yeah.
One of my closest friends. Gentleman named Jesse De La Pena is one of my closest
I don't
friends.
even
And
know
these
what
guys,
I would tell my best friend, dude, if that happened.
When I
don't
told-
even know, like, how do you console somebody?
when I told Joe, when I tell you, like, the same veins in his neck popped out in my neck. Like, it was like the guy understand, like, he shared my pain through all of this. I mean, he checks in, right? Like, and I have a ton of really, really close friends. I'm very blessed, but, we're a girl that works for me. Her and her husband are very close friends of ours, and they're like family.
Mm-hmm.
And they're amazing, and they were a great resource, through all of it. Like, so no, I don't have a problem trusting. I don't have a problem building friendships.
Sure,
I
right.
don't carry the weight of that. I've forgiven him because that's the right thing to do. That's what God will want me to do.
I love that. I love that you have that side of you that kind of centers you. It isn't taking over you and having the faith part of your life. I think that's huge. That's a great example that you're setting for your kids too.
For sure. I tell my kids all the
That's
time,
big.
like, look, when you get to choose between the bread or the prosciutto, not both because you don't have it at the same time, I'm just different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just different. And I always feel like nothing can stop me. And I know we don't have all night to talk about like my family situation and all this other stuff, but I will spend the rest of my life eradicating any kind of poison, and I will not pass it down to my children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's like my number one goal always. My kids will not think that their father's defined by mistakes that I've made along the way, number one. And number two, if there's someone in my family, no one's expendable. If there's someone in my immediate family or down the line family that caused any kind of heartache to me whatsoever, I don't let them do it to my kids.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I cut them out.
Yeah.
I cut them out,
You
Doc.
got it.
I seriously.
I have no problem with doing that. My wife's a little tougher. She's got a, she's just a little more sensitive than I am in that.
And some in her family, maybe I'm not saying her family, but some in one's family might not know any better that they're doing
Sure.
it. So there is a benefit of the
And you gotta
doubt.
have a boundary.
You do have to have a boundary. So yeah.
Has that guy reached out to you at all since? When's the last time you talked?
No,
to him?
I blocked everything on. You know,
Yeah.
I stay
Yeah, you
away.
don't need that.
But I also think that
I've
like
seen if you ever like wrote an apology letter or just something, dude. I mean, not that it would bring closure, but
no, that he would have to admit he did something wrong then, and then he
so
would have to
not.
come clean to
Yeah.
his circle.
Yeah.
And if his circle really knew that he did this shit, now it's too late. It's he's in too deep. You see what I'm saying? Like
he's just
this,
committed to the lie.
This motherfucker's
Yeah,
committed
he's-
to the lie.
he-
Passive aggressive disorder. Just
And
it's-
do your kids still talk to his kids?
no,
No.
no.
that's
Once
sad.
once in a while, I think once in a while.
Are they around the same age?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're close to the same age.
Bump into each other? You bump into him at all?
It's
Your
tough,
wives?
man.
Okay, so it's funny because God, I think, intentionally in the early days of a lot of anger, intentionally kept me away from him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I often said, why haven't I seen this guy?
Yeah.
Now, is it a situation of I walked into a place and he saw me and he turned around and went the other way? Most likely.
Yeah.
Most likely. But I will tell you if, you know, and then it got to a point where I did bump into him, but it was already when I was at a place of forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think God said, Pete, I think you calm down enough and you understand
Yeah.
that you can't carry that hate. So you just gotta move on.
How long did that take you? If you don't mind me asking.
No, it's actually a legitimate question. There's a higher power to answer to with all of this. Too. I know I'm a God-fearing man, so there's no chance.
And I'm
that
not
person, no way.
the best Catholic. I got flaws, you know,
Of
this and
course.
that. But like, I don't know how people can just like.
Well, like I said before, they justify it. They're like,
Yeah.
well, this is something that I'm owed, or this is something that is due to me.
Yeah.
So I can have this.
I feel like
good
people
stuff.
aren't like that no more, man.
No,
people
there
are
aren't.
fucking
In a heartbeat, because it's all
Yeah.
about jealousy and all
dollars
about
and
me,
cents,
me, me.
dude. Yeah.
Right.
I saw you DJ'd for your son
Yes.
at like his college thing or something like that. I was like,
Oh,
that's
God.
sick, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Where did you go to school?
Miami of Ohio.
Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it was on Instagram. I'm like, no fucking way. That's
Yeah.
sick,
Stud.
dude.
Yeah.
He's probably like, oh, dude, my dad, we're gonna
Yeah,
get lit.
it was
man.
not-
Like, let's
listen.
go.
Okay, so this is a funny story.
What's
It was
his name, by the
nuts.
way?
Luca.
Luca.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a son
Shout
named
out to
Luca.
Luca.
Yeah. Love it.
Boy,
Love it.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I named a salon after him.
Okay. Yeah. That's the name of your
That
salon.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Peter
Yeah.
DeLuca, because no one can pronounce my last name, so it wasn't going on the door.
Peter DeLuca.
Yeah. So he it's like the last dad's weekend, right? And I know he was stressing because he's like, Dad, we're gonna have a party at the fraternity house, and I want you to DJ it. And then something happened logistically, and they were gonna move it to a different place in a backyard. And he's like, Dad, bring your stuff. We'll still get you set up. It'll be in the backyard. And then I caught wind that he was like not wanting it to go down that way, and he felt like that I really wanted to DJ, so he was trying to go out of his way.
Sure.
So I call him and I let him off the hook.
excited.
He's excited. I let him off the hook. I'm like, Luca, don't worry about it. This is not about me DJing at your frat house. I says, I'm going to come down for Dad's weekend and we're just going to hang out. I just want to be with you. And it's fact, you know, I just want to be. So anyway, months earlier, I had reached out to the Brick Street, which Brick Street is this giant club at Miami of Ohio, and it's an amazing bar, and it's 18 and over, and then 21 to drink, and they do wristbands and
Yeah, I
stuff
saw
like
it's
that.
a huge space.
The place is
massive.
huge. Place is huge. So oddly enough, I'm getting ready to go Friday morning. Thursday night, I get an email back from them, and they're like, Pete, what's going on? You know, we got your email, you know, what's happening? So I email him back and I'm like, oh, thanks for, you know, connecting. I go, I'm heading down there for Dad's weekend. I says, long shot, but they have a rental at Brick upstairs on Saturday night by you. And I think it'd be really cool if I dropped a surprise DJ set for my son at Brick. You know, if this is possible, let me know. If it's not, no big deal. I get an email back a minute later. We love all of this. We just dropped it at a meeting, and the whole team is in on it. We fucking love it.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
tell us what
Wow,
you need.
yeah.
There's no clue, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, so now I'm like,
That's
this
sick.
is go mode. This is
Yeah,
go
yeah,
mode.
yeah.
This is every dad's dream, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh man.
now keep in mind, I've brought my son to like house music festivals since he's 15. He's been on stage with me. He's been in front of like 10,000 people, 3,000 people. Like it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This is something completely different.
Sure.
Okay, so
His buddies.
his fraternity brothers. Okay, so anyway, it's the Friday. I get there, and then I get there early, and I go right to Brick, and I drop off my equipment.
Okay.
I
He's got
meet-
no clue.
Yeah.
I meet with Josh, who's badass, man. Josh is like, he's like the PR, and he's a badass DJ. Shout out DJ Infinity, and he is he's a programmer at Brick, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna do this. So I drop my equipment off. We get it all set up. And he's like, yeah, whenever you get here and you're ready to go, just, we'll put you on after the rental. So the rental's like 9 to 11 or something, and then I go on it. No, it's like I think it was 8 to 10, and then I was going on at like 10.
Perfect.
10 o'clock.
Perfect time.
Yeah,
So I realize on Friday when I'm there, after I get set up, I go and meet my son. We hang out. There's a meet and greet. There's some food, whatever. I realize that I'm going to need to tell my son this because instead of surprising him that night, because he's going to want to text all of the sororities and make sure that everybody. Because after the rental, it's like if it's 8 to 10, at 10 o'clock, most of the sorority or the fraternity guys, they just leave and they go to
where we go.
the
They go to
frat
the next
house.
bar. Yeah.
So now. It's like the shot heard around the world. He gets on his phone. I tell him, he's like, Dad, no way, you're DJing prank. Let's go. You know, he's like, it's all
Guy's
hype.
promoting it, dude.
And then he went into go mode and he just got on his phone and he just shot heard around the world. You already saw the video, man.
Dude, it's a humongous place.
It was so
It
freaking
looks like a
awesome.
massive club. I mean, it's huge. Dude.
Totally.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
At least it did on Instagram. It was big.
James Hype played there. Like it's a big like they've had a lot of. Wait, this is a short snippet. I don't want to go too far off track.
Right.
I'm at Simone's. This is a funny story about names.
Yeah.
I'm at Simone's and I'm DJing, and then the girl who hired me is also a DJ. She's like, Pete, this is also Pete. He's also a DJ. And so I start talking to him. We're having a drink because I'm waiting to go on for my set. He's like, dude, I have to tell you a story that I've been waiting 35 plus years to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? This is weird. So he's like, originally, he goes, you're Pumpin Pete. I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, originally my name was Pumpin Pete. I go, what?
Yeah.
You know, and back in the day, you battled for the name. Like if someone came at you, you battled.
That's mine, right?
Yeah, it's mine.
Yeah.
So he's like, there's this one event, and it was in Cicero, and it was probably 1993, I think, 1989 or something. And I'm like, yeah, it's Cicero Stadium. He's like, yeah, how'd you know? I'm like, yeah, it was a DJ battle. He's like, yeah, how'd you know? Because I fucking won that battle. Yeah. He goes, I showed up that night to battle you for the name.
Right.
And I showed up and I heard you DJ and I turned around and walked right the fuck out.
Really?
This was the biggest compliment I've gotten in my, I was like, dude, are you kidding me? Why? This is crazy. I go, why didn't you come up and at least say hi to me?
Yeah.
I go, we missed out on 35 plus years of friendship.
Yeah.
Because you fucking walked out. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. His name is Pete Funk, Phunk. He spells it.
Yeah.
So he gave up the Pumpin Pete immediately and he goes by DJ Pete Funk. And he's been DJing.
Man.
He's
like,
been DJing all around Chicago ever since.
Really?
Just because he's like, well, I'm not going to even touch that. I'm going to figure something else out.
I know. I thought it was
on fire.
I thought it was such a compliment, man. I was like, wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was so much fun. The brick at the Miami.
I bet.
Yeah, and you have a son and daughter. Is your daughter older or younger?
My daughter is younger. She's 20. She goes to UK. She goes to Kentucky.
Nice.
Yeah, she's at Kentucky. She's a business marketing and
Cool.
advertising.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, she's over there killing it. She's doing great. So
You guys
she
are
already
empty nesters then.
pretty much. Yeah. They're both home right now. But it's funny because Talia said, Talia's my daughter. She's like, Dad, you got to DJ at
Of course,
Kentucky now. I'm like, all right, man, you find the place.
Sure, give me the end. I'll be there.
So
Yeah.
it's in my future.
And then your son DJs or no? Or is he?
A little bit, yeah. He oddly enough, he's like he like when he goes into my DJ room and he plays music, like he is dialed in.
Yeah.
Right. So he understands how to mix. But funny story, when you said earlier that there's a zillion DJs, this past summer I made a mix and my latest mix is called 1 million DJs. So the giant joke is like whenever I was at my daughter's school and then, it was like dad's weekend and I'm like, what's the plan? And my daughter's like 1 million beers, Dad. So it's like an inside joke. So we go to a fraternity, they're having a party and in the backyard, they have a stage set up and the DJ's playing and there's like a zillion guys on there. And I'm like, she's like 1 million beers. I'm like, no, man, it's 1 million DJs because there's a million DJs. And then you're saying like, million DJs like everywhere. So I made this mix 1 million DJs. My son curated 90% of this playlist. So he put it together, but I mixed it.
Interesting.
Oh, nice.
And it's on SoundCloud right now. And it's like, it's a UK garage mix.
We'll leave the link in the description.
Yeah. And it's totally different from what I usually play. It's not classic house. It's not hip hop, but I inserted like my style all over it.
Is heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy. It's deep.
For sure. So yeah.
Do they play any other instruments like piano, violin, anything or no?
I've been a drummer my whole life. So
Nice.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Nice.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I love that.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
What questions you have for us?
Dude, I fucking love you. I mean, where have you guys been for we should have been friends a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how. I've known about you guys. Don't get me wrong. I've known about you guys since inception of.
podcast.
The Two Stunads. But
Right.
but then when we finally like met each other, like you said, we only known each other for. I feel like I fucking known you guys like.
I know. It's crazy. It is crazy. So speaking of, like, we only met last year.
No chance.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And you know, like how we talk about, like, we kind of mentioned on the show today where we're like, do you have that guy that kind of keeps you in check? Do you have that guy that kind of like puts you back on the track? Like, I feel like that's what we kind of do. Like, we're honest with each other. We're straightforward. Like, if he's out of line, I'm like, yo, dude, pump the fucking brakes for half a second.
Yeah.
All right. And
You and everyone else. My wife.
yeah, but you listen to me though, like, because like,
Yeah.
you'll probably say something to Art, but like he'd be like, yeah, you know what, you're right. And he said the same thing to me, like, dude, I need you over here more. And I'd be like, yeah, you're right. Let me fix this up and let me do. So like that, you need that.
You do.
You know, in friendship, and I kind of feel
It's
like
tough to find, unfortunately.
it is.
It truly is.
Like,
Yeah,
is there anything that you wanted to touch on that we didn't touch on?
No, man. I think I love it. It's awesome.
Well,
Anyways, man.
you started the episode saying it's either bread or prosciutto, right? We don't have bread or prosciutto, but we do have a
No,
couple
you don't.
supersada
Come
for you.
on.
If you like supersada,
Stop.
just a little something for thank you for being on the show. And
Oh my God, you guys are
we
the
cracked
best.
one open the other day and they're so smooth.
God,
So I hope
so
you
good.
enjoy those.
Yeah,
I
you
hope
You
enjoy
can eat the
those.
whole thing yourself.
You hit
Yeah,
me,
you really
right in
can.
the gut with these. We made,
Yeah.
we made these a couple years ago, and they were so freaking good. I got to get back to making them again. But man, these look really good.
Yeah, they're nice and soft. They're
These are
perfect.
fucking lean
spicy,
right here.
spicy too.
Are they
they're
both
lean.
spicy?
Yeah, they are lean.
hot.
Yeah.
It's not huge.
Appreciate
So,
you
of
guys,
course,
man. Thank
yeah.
you so
Of
much.
Coming on, man. We've had a blast.
Yeah, we
nice.
definitely did.
Yeah.
So much fun, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I hope it wasn't too heavy. Got something for you guys.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, shouldn't have.
Hold on. First you got a couple Pumpin Pete stickers, or you put these on your vehicle.
I like that. I'm gonna
Or you
on
can
my-
put them on your mirror
on
in the
my
morning.
left
Remind you to
arm.
comb your hair at night. Okay. Number 1. Number 2 is we got a limited edition. You guys have to fight over this one until I can get another
We'll do
one.
a thumb wrestle.
I only had one left. It's the official
I like that.
Pumpin Pete DJ shirt we
that's
throw out at
clean.
festivals.
That's clean. Look at
Since
that.
82.
Fresh since 82.
We're fresh since '82.
I like that.
When I got in a car accident, bought my first turntables.
That's
That's
amazing.
the story,
You
dude.
get a couple of buttons on there. Right?
I like that. Thank
Thanks,
you.
man. Appreciate it.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys, man. I appreciate you guys having me.
Of
Yeah.
course, yeah.
Awesome.
If you guys want to connect with Pete, whether it's for DJing or for salon stuff, or want to learn more a little bit about him, we'll leave all of his contact information below, all of his socials, Facebook, Instagram. Do you have LinkedIn, anything like that, or
I do not. So all
Yeah.
my socials, Facebook,
yeah,
Insta,
website, all that thing. But yeah, thanks for watching the show, guys. If you guys watched to the end, we truly appreciate you guys watching these videos, and we will see you guys in the next episode.
Thanks, everybody.
Two Stunads.